In today's video, I go over how to attack every single ranked map in Rainbow Six Siege. There's currently 15 ranked maps, so enjoy. There will be timestamps down below. Go to whatever map you want to see. And just a disclaimer before you guys start, just know that this is a vague explanation. This is a nudge in the right direction of how you should be thinking about attack and establishing map control. Like the video if you enjoy the content, because this took a lot of effort to get into, over like 3 hours worth of footage. Besides that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Apex Gaming PC. When you use code Garfield, you can get up to $250 off your next purchase. Now, we have our own custom line of pre-built PCs themed around Garfieldisdoc. As you can tell, because there's a 50 HP, 100 HP, and 150 HP. I would suggest going down in the link in the description and just checking it out, because you can see the guaranteed FPS for each game, and you can customize your own pre-built. For example, say I go with the 50 HP because, you know, I just need a gaming PC and that's about it. I can go ahead and customize this PC and I can swap out whatever the heck I want. For example, if I want more storage, I can go ahead and add in more storage. If I want a different aesthetic, I can even do that from just the aesthetics tab. I can add in RGBs, different power supply cables, case fans, and a bunch of different services. So if you guys are shopping around for maybe yourself or someone else to buy a PC, you can go ahead and check the link down in the description and just go and check this out. Once again, if you use code Garfield, you can get $250 off your next purchase. Thank you so much, Apex, for partnering up with me. You guys have a lovely day. Okay, so starting out on Oregon, we're gonna be attacking upstairs control. Now, there's different ways that you can attack every single map, and when it comes to operator lineup, this really comes down to you and what your team specifically wants to do. For example, I like to go master bedroom and big window take. Now, the reason why I like to do this is because it's very simple. For example, you just take master control, trophy, and armory hall control, which is trophy, and then this is armory. And, you know, you kind of get a pinch from trophy and then opening up the big window. And then assume that you get man advantage. You have one person rotate over to big window. And they have a cutoff for, you know, any rotation because you're pressuring the defenders back. And I know watching this, it's going to be, you're going to have to visualize a lot of this stuff because it's just so difficult to go through every single map and every single site setup and then have 9 other people in a custom game that are willing to do this. It's very complicated. So once again, this is going to be a very brief, but you know, I want to nudge you in the right direction. So starting out, say you go for master take and, you know, big window. Some essential ops that you're going to want to bring is, of course, a hard breacher. I would suggest probably either a thermite or an ace. I would not really want to bring a Habana because if you miss the pellets, you can really mess up the wall. Unless like you're a really good Habana, I would keep it nice and simple and go ace and thermite. Starting out, besides that, someone else with nades like Finca, Yana, or Sledge, whatever. And then I would prefer someone maybe like a Flores or a and also a flank watch. But once again, the reason why you're going to bring a Flores is because the amount of utility that's focused towards trophy side, and Flores himself can clear all this utility, all the shields. Usually you have a shield on kids, usually you have a shield in attic, and it's just once again a lot of utility, along with all the utility that's going to be right here on Bolo. This is called Bolo. If you ever hear this colo, it's by the stressor. And yeah, so starting out, what I would suggest is whoever the flank watch is, get them to take army control, repel armory, get them the drone armory, get them drone army hall, and then maybe leave their cam down in the staircase. They can repel in. I would suggest a gridlock because gridlock can gridlock off this complete staircase. Then maybe set 2 track stringers. Whoever has grenades, say the Yana, Sledge, whatever, they just need to go below, whether it's from this window, and they can just nade right here on this one ping, and that will get whatever utilities off the wall. One thing you have to worry about is someone jumping out gen and then someone running out white hallway or just the small tower. You can also have somebody maybe set up their body in garage just so you can get the cutoff if anybody tries to go Zulu hall, which is right here. This is Z, aka Zulu. Just so they can watch, you know, whoever's grenading, and it's a very common cutoff. And from there, once you get the stuff off the wall and the person's already up armory, already has army control, already took out you know, gridlocked off the staircase, you know, this person needs to try to focus armory hall and try to pinch anybody that's in trophy with, you know, whoever's on the balcony. I would suggest the hard breach goes on balcony. Once again, you got to watch out for any jump outs when you're getting over here. And you know, you kind of, whoever the hard breach is, they need to drone out trophy, master, closet, everything. It's just so, you know, they can tell the, you know, flank watch it's clear, and maybe even get Flores over here as well. So you're basically gonna have 3 people focusing master bedroom slash trophy control. And you know, just so Flores can get any utility, he can use this drone hole, he can use this doorway if there's not a mute jammer, and Gridlock can position her body anywhere in trophy or just watching armory just for a swing and whatever. And then, you know, the hard breacher can get the main wall. The other 2 people, which is going to be whoever the hell, they can, one person can focus big window, or both of them, the last 2, can take white hallway and work bottom white. And by working, I mean by taking that control and trying to establish map control. On attack, what you have to do is you have to establish map control. That is the main thing that a lot of players have a hard understanding what to do. It's like taking control of the map is the number 1 thing that you need to be doing on attack. And you know, once again, this is just a quick, you know, good nudge in the right direction for you. So whoever the last 2 people are, it might be a Finca, Zofia, whatever. Well, you can have one person on the big window. He could be droning this person that's taking small tower. There is no refragability if they do this, and this person can kind of make a solo play, maybe act off any information, or you know, say it's Finca and Zofia, they can both go below and they can, you know, work up white staircase and clear any utility and pressure the defense. There's a lot of things that you could be doing on attack which I'm not saying, but it's really up to you. The main premise for master and big window though is to open the wall up, take control of trophy and army hall. If you can get a pick or 2, which means you kill 1 enemy or 2, then this allows you to collapse more onto site a lot sooner and have a lot more cutoff angles. And that's why the big window control, like outside the big window and holding cutoffs, and maybe even somebody bottom white, this pressures the defenders into really uncomfortable angles, which allows you to now set up for plants or just set up for you to get all 5 kills. So once you open this main breach, whatever, you start getting picks or whatnot, you know, you can try to get in and get for a default plant here. But I don't know, every round on Oregon is going to be different, just like any round on any map is going to be different. You know, there's going to be some unfortunate circumstances, but this is going to be probably your main objective starting out into the round, is just go for master control, open this up, and then yeah. The next place that we're going to be attacking is meeting slash dining. Now there's a lot of ways that you can do this, and this is probably one of the most complex attacking sides of the map. For example, what I like to do is I like to clear from master over, which means, you know, I'm taking basically the same control. You know, if this is reinforced, you know, whoever my hard breacher is, we're going to open this wall and we're just going to pressure our bodies into trophy. A lot of the times how players play this is they have a rotation here on attic, they have the hatch popped here, and they also just has lines of sight for anybody trying to, you know, take map control or try to get in sight. That's why, once again, this is why we're pushing these guys out, because it's going to be very hard to take sight when you have all these lines of sight, especially when they extend into security, which is right here. So what the operators that I would assume that you should bring, or that you might want to bring, is of course a hard breacher once again, which is going to be, you know, whatever ace, thermite, habana, whatever the hell you want. I would say you could bring somebody with a hard breach device if you're going to just be attacking, you know, up top, because there's not going to be a lot of things that you're going to be hard breaching or taking this side of the map. And then of course you're going to want to bring, you know, maybe floors if you want, because the utility clear, gridlock if you want, and then, you know, Yana, sledge, whatever. I would definitely suggest someone that can soft reach like Bucker's sledge though, and make vertical. So once again, starting out, you're going to be taking, you know, master control. If these are not reinforced, then, you know, sledge or whoever the soft breacher is, they can, you know, get an immediate cutoff for this rotation, and they can watch anybody trying to contest the people in trophy. This is going to push the defenders a little bit farther back to either play big window, top white, or, you know, just deep kids or attic. You're going to want to drone out, just see where the utility might be and where the defenders are and how they're playing this. If you can push them all the way back and get a pick, then start making vertical, and, you know, you can start cutting off the defenders once again in sight and pressure more angles. you're gonna have to make sure whoever, if you do bring a flank watch, put the track stringers, or this is why I said gridlock on the staircases, because nomads are very inconsistent and you can't really, it's just way too inconsistent in my opinion on these staircases. So gridlock off armory, gridlock off white. This is a very common flank, so people are going to come up, you know, white stairs. Once again, I would suggest 3 people push above. The other 2 people, what they could do is they can try to get a pinch around dining. So when you actually establish upstairs control, you can cut these people off rotating. So if you guys can take shower control and maybe even dining the last 2, you could, you know, cut off any angles for people that's holding top freezer stairs or security. Both of these positioning for defenders are very common. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have somebody probably in security, and you're going to probably have somebody ratting in freezer waiting for you to come into dining. Now, these types of holds are only more common into like mid diamond, champ elo, but I want to help you get better at the game overall, and you know, expect things that you should be expecting. So they're probably also going to have a rotation here on tall tower, so you just got to watch for that as well. And then you just got to play for picks at this point if you have enough time. You want to try to establish map control very quickly and get your bodies moving quick, because if you guys just stall out upstairs, you guys are going to have to run down white or drop the hatches and, you know, push into some very dead angles, and you know, you're probably going to lose the round. So make vertical as the soft breacher. And then, you know, once again, this comes down to how many picks you get from. You could end off trying to plant maybe even meeting, but or split or go bottom white and then try to go dining. Once again, it really comes down to what information you guys have, where your drones are pre-placed, do you have any drones in sight, and how much intel you guys have. But this is how you should be attacking this side of the map. Now, another alternative, what you guys could be doing is you guys can just go for dining single and not dining single. You guys can have to, like, some people pressuring dining, maybe have one guy solo push dining, which once again I'm not a big fan of, but he can cut off a lot of angles. And you guys can go for a tall tower take, and basically you guys would take the entire tall tower, T3, T2, and then T1, which this is T1. And you guys would have to make sure nobody's on the basement staircases, put a gridlock down here, like a track stringer. Make sure you clear the entire tower, and then open up this wall right here. You would probably have to bring a Maverick, I would suggest, if this is what you're going for, because a lot of times Thatcher is going to be banned. So you guys do need to get this T2 wall. And then once you guys get the stuff off the rear stage wall, you need to open this up as well. And then that's where that person like lurking and dining would come into play, because the defenders would assume that you guys are all pushing meeting side, and this guy in dining could rat out and just cut anybody off rotating, or he could make a play into sight. That's really up to him. But once you guys get these double walls open, you can maybe place a body up here in attic, because this hatch might be opened. If it's not, then you don't need to worry about it. If this is reinforced, you do not need to put a body up here in attic, and unless they have a rotate, you can maybe put a track stringer around up here on the top of attic. But if the hatch is not open, which you do not need to open, that's a W, because then they can't retake up here and then cut off any planting. But if they do have this hatch open, you need to place a body in attic, and maybe even get a cutoff for anybody trying to late rotate and try to retake upstairs. But you do not need to go deep in the kitchen and then start, like, you know, worrying about all that presence. Because if you guys got both these walls open, then you have complete cuts off, lines of sights cut off on site, and you guys can start setting up for a plant. And this comes down to, you know, what how deep you guys are into the round, how many mans do you have up compared to theirs. Like, if you're in a 5v3, that's perfect, but you know, sometimes rounds happen where you just lose man advantage and it just sucks. So I know that was probably a lot of information to take in, but those were 2 different takes that you can take on meeting, and that's something you should be expecting when you're, you know, defending even on the side of the map. Looking for basement. Basically, what you want to do here is you want to have a 2-3 split once again. Notice how every single attacking side of the map, I'm getting a 2-3 split, which means you have 2 people grouping up with each other, and then the other 3 is working a more complex side of the map. Now, let's talk about the 2 people that's going to be pushing bunker. Now, what's very common for bunker, Thatcher's going to be muted once again 99% of the time. So what they're going to probably be bringing is someone with a shield, most likely smoke. They might bring a mute, which is effective for the Flores, and then they might have another shield here on tarps. Now, if they have this much utility, you can ask one of your teammates to rotate down to give you burn capability, and just for, you know, another set of, you know, nades or another set of something. Because what's common for attackers to bring down here is usually Yana is pretty common because she has Gong 6, 2 nades, and she has basically 3 drones since, you know, her Yana Clo can drone out. And then Flores is very common as well, and then probably Habana / Maverick. It really depends if they're bringing a Kate or not. And then the last few picks, or last pick, is really up to you. So basically, if 2 people are here and you notice how much utility that they do have is like a lot, you can either get one of your teammates to rotate down that can help burn the utility, like the ADSs, Midas, whatever. But you really, 2 people should be able to do the job if you guys properly communicate with what utility you're using, because Flores has 3 stun grenades, and then say if you're Yana, you could just, you know, maybe even Gong 6 after he stuns twice to get the mute jammer off, and then maybe you can cock a nade deep, and then maybe get the nade off for the shield, or Flores can just bring a drone in. But basically, what I would do if I were you guys, if you can clear that shield, wait a little bit, because the other 3 people, which is going to be probably the hard breach, some type of flank watch, probably like Nomad, is very common for this. You guys are going to want to take tall tower, like rear stage here. You're going to make sure nobody's creeping up on this back staircase. And then what your objective is to Nomad off green hall right here. Clear complete meeting, make sure all this is clear, and you're going to be working for the e-box hatch. The second Nomad is going to go in this double door right here. The only thing that sucks with this Nomad now is that the defenders get up so quickly that they can probably just run through it and get back up. And then the third Nomad is really up to you. I've seen people Nomad off right here. It can get shot, but it is sound intel once again. And once you open up this e-box hatch with whatever hard breach, the 1 or 2 people can start working down this back staircase. This is very specific, or in specific, I don't know the proper word to say, because like a lot of defenders can change around their utility. So for example, if you have more shields, it's going to be a lot more difficult to, you know, push this way. But if you notice, a lot of the focus is, like, in terms of utility, is towards this type of take, which is the back tower, e-box hatch, and bunker. You can swap your push pretty quickly early on into the round. And if that's the case, you got to peep what type of utility that they do have, and then tell your teammates, yo, let's rotate the push, let's go for a freezer main take, which basically at that point, if what the whole objective is for freezer main is, you know, to establish dining control, make sure nobody shower halls or anything, get the freezer hatch right here, of course, go down freezer stairs, maybe 2 people or even 3 at this point, and you guys got to try to take control of deep lockers, cut off any of these angles, and you got to pressure the defenders back into deep, you know, basement site. So you're gonna want to have maybe 2 people go down main, or what you could do is have 1 person go down main, have 2 people, or 2 and 2. You can have 2 people go laundry, 2 people go freezer, and then maybe have somebody lurk. If you guys did get that e-box hatch, he can maybe try to drop, or he can go down back tower stairs, or, you know, that last person really has to make a play on his own. But once again, this is a very vague, but it's trying to nudge you in the right direction to try to understand what you should be and what more than likely you will be pushing on Oregon, instead of just randomly all 5 people going bunker. A lot of the times you never want 5 people pushing the same area, especially getting into higher elo, because what's going to happen is you guys are just going to get, you know, stomped out, because it's very hard when you have a limited amount of angles, especially on bunker. So just try to think about the positioning in terms of attacking, and how you can make the defenders' lives a little bit harder. Last but not least, holy shit. Last but not least is kitchen dining. This is one of the most uncommon parts of the defenders to go. It's one of the worst sides of the map, in my opinion, as a defender to go. But basically, all you're going to want to do is bring a hard breach, somebody that can make vertical, and the rest is really up to you. Floors is always effective on Oregon. So, yeah. Make sure you guys clear small tower just completely. Make sure nobody's, you know, ratting in any corners. Establish all of this control. They're probably going to have a shield on this door if that's how they're playing it. Make sure that you peep the utility and call it out to your teammates. Probably also going to be playing showers with feet holes right here, and then with a rotate and dining right here. So basically your main objective is going for this main dining wall and work the map just basically that way. Floors can help clear any utility in showers, any utility in shower hallway. I would maybe say get maybe 2 people to lurk Zulu hall, maybe even come up from basement and establish, you know, bottom freezer stairs control, because you can cut off anybody that's rotating, or if they have a rotation insecurity, you can maybe make a play happen. It really comes down to timing and, you know, just coordination with your teammates and acting off a sound and then you know, drone work. But it's very simple. Just go for the main wall, clear any utility that's in showers. I would say maybe 3 people go small tower and 2 other people will try to work the other side of the map and maybe even try to make a play happen. This is a very congested side of the map and it's very annoying to defend and attack. But as soon as you open up this double wall, you know, you basically won the round if you guys take shower control as well. Because if you guys take shower control, you have a complete cutoff on the entire side of this you know, site basically, and then the rotation. So the only way that they're going to be able to rotate is once again going through shower hall and trying to get a flank and retaking shower or taking small tower. That's what I'm saying. If you have somebody lurking bottom freezer stairs, they can have a complete cutoff of anybody rotating. Once again, this has to all be in sync and you guys all have to be communicating with one another what you guys are doing. But yeah, that's basically like the Oregon, and this is kitchen dining. Once you guys open this wall, I would even suggest maybe an OSA, because OSA can be very goddamn annoying, and if you can get an OSA shield in the site, it's basically game over because you have any of their cutoffs, and it's very rare for defenders to be pocketing impacts. First, let's talk about cash. Now, the main objective for cash, you can do this a few different ways, but the most standard way right now is to push flat, which is the main wall right here, and then take garage single, which is this door, and then G1 and G2, which is very simple. So the main operators that you're going to want to bring, most of the time Thatcher's banned, so what I suggest is bringing a Maverick and then bringing some type of hard breach like Habana. And you're gonna have to mav trick the wall. A lot of people have a difficulty doing so learn how to mav trick, which means you're making the entire reinforcement on this main wall completely soft, and then you get a soft destruction like Zofia, Ash, Sledge, Buck, or something to open up this line of sight. Now, make sure you always have somebody stationed onto this wall, whether it's here repelled, which is a lot better angle because you're exposing less of your body and only your head. And another reason why you want to hold this is because you can cut off the person that's holding top rafters if they try to swing wide. So immediately that limits all that single person to only sit around R2, which is around right here. They go R90, they expose themselves from the head holes, and that, yeah, you see that. So the reason why I also said Habana is because you're going to want Habana to go outside G2, which is right here. Open up the top angle right here, and then open up G1 so you can have a crouchable, walkable angle. Now, if they have a Kate or mute, you're going to have to bring someone else that can deal with that. Like, for example, maybe a Twitch. You might be able to shoot it from outside, or you're going to have to grenade the very top of rafters if that's where the Kate is. Your main objective is to just clear all of this, burn any ADSs or Romize that's up in rafters, and then clear the guy up in rafters. So basically you're going to want one person on flat. Starting out the round, you had 2 working the flat. You're going to want to have one person outside single here, and then one person outside G1 or G2. Now after that, soft breach gets the wall for Maverick. He can go downstairs and rotate with whoever else is downstairs, because you do have that 5th pick that can just lurk around the map and cut off angles. For example, you can have somebody maybe positioned at front door here, cut off any rotations from lounge or bottom red, or you can just go below and grenade from below. This is very effective since the entire site is nadeable. For example, this is right beside green box. This is cubby. Right here is default plant. This is like right where the wall is, and this is right by the window. So just so you know, basically you're collapsing up in the garage. The person that goes below and nades, because this is very helpful. This can clear a lot of utility without having to burn utility. So usually there's a cubby shield, basically clears that, and you might even be able to get a nade kill. So basically what you're doing is you're taking garage control, rafters, and then flat, and then playing off each other's angles. You have to be in sync with your teammates to understand what they're holding and why they're holding it. So basically after that, what you want to do is once you push back into rafters, you're pushing the entire defensive back around cash/red hallway. Now this allows you to try to execute for a plan. Now if you do have man advantage in this scenario, set one of your extra men downstairs around lounge just to watch anybody rotating to try to get the default C4. Or he can even try to walk up red, which is a lot more riskier, but it's really on you. Or you can even maybe get him to go con and then just cut off anybody trying to rotate. Once again, that's a little bit more risky. Whatever you find is helpful. Whatever you find best works, then that best works. But basically, this is the push I do for upstairs CC. Next, let's talk about a gym take. Now, personally, a lot of people just go for jacuzzi wall. What I would suggest is go horizontal over. Now, this means you have to establish garage control. Have your entry fragger take this. Have a pre-place somewhere around here in garage. Also, have a pre-place down in lounge just for anybody trying to get a late flank off. Besides that, have that person take rafters control, and they can cut off anybody that's trying to swing server like a bunch of silly geese. Have a hard breach that can open up CCTV. You can't just have an ace, just use one ace for a panel, and so you guys can crouch walk into the little breach. This also allows you over. Next, just drone out red. Make sure nobody's on red. Make sure they're not doing any funky strats. Most teams won't do anything special for red. They'll just try to contest into CC. Basically, you're working the map. Don't mind the bomb chassis. You know, custom games are scuffed, and I can't pick the bomb site. But anyways, you're going to have somebody playing cash. Push that guy out. You can go below and grenade him. Downstairs in stock, which is like right by the hatch, as you can tell. You can just nade up here, and then push them back on. Now, the main operators are going to want to be bringing for this, of course, is probably somebody that can open the wall, of course, which is probably the good old-fashioned ace. If you want to bring thermite, that's really up to you. I would just bring ace on this side of the map. There are certain maps where thermite's better or ace is better. I would also bring a maverick just so you have grenades, and just in case your hard breach dies, you know, they can also open up any, you know, walls that's needed. Basically, once you get up to con control, you need to make sure you have a soft destruction like Sledge. He sledges the hatch up here. And basically, you're putting more pressure on the defenders to either contest or push back out of Logi. Now, if you guys have man advantage up to this point where you guys took con and you have angles in the Logi, get your ace to rotate if there's no utility on this jacuzzi wall, and get them to open up like maybe a head hole or just open up this breach overall. This will now make the defenders feel more pressured when swinging and whatnot. As you can tell from what I've been going on about these few maps, basically you're trying to pressure the defenders and push them back and take more map control as soon as possible. Now, once again, there's a lot of open slots for operators because I only said about 3. So you're really up to like whatever the hell you want. I would maybe also suggest maybe a Zofia or, you know, something that can burn utility or, you know, destroy utility if needed. Or maybe even a Flores. Late round, once you guys take into con and maybe even Logi, get somebody outside highway, which is this. They can now contest anybody that's going around. Or try to rotate in between sites. You literally have every angle that's needed. For example, the bomb chassis be right here. You have a head angle if anybody's on it. You have the angle for Logi rotate, unless the Logi rotates on the left-hand side. You have some of the Logi door and the main hallway. You have the bathroom. And you have the basic rotate that's in the gym. So basically, that is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to clear the map from the other side over and contest them and push them back into sight. That is basically how I'd hold gym. Of course, this is a very vague explanation because every round is played differently and you're going to have to make adjustments from there. But this is the stepping stones and what you need to do when it comes down to just basically attacking this side of the map. Okay, let's talk about how to attack basement. Now, there's a few different ways that a lot of people like to attack basement, and I'm gonna be 100%. Most of the time, a lot of you guys just waste a lot of time when it comes to attacking this side of the map. A lot of you guys try to go top down and clear the roamers and push into the roamers. But if you're just going for a kitchen dirt take, all you have to do is position one person to watch a main hallway right here, whether it's on the cage rappel right here or just on the door frame, just waiting for anybody to rotate. This is all you need to do. The only presence you need is kitchen and kitchen hallway, because you have somebody outside this cage right now watching this hallway for anybody rotating. And now if they're above with holes and whatnot, then you can go pop Logi hatch and clear them. But you need to make that decision very quickly into the round. Now, in terms of operators, what I would bring is I would definitely bring a hard breach like Habana and Maverick. The reason why you're going to want to bring Habana is for the hatches, of course, and Maverick. So just in case Habana dies, you can open up Moto if needed, or you can just go for dirt. But you could also substitute for someone with a hard breach device. Now, the only issue with that is you only get 2 hard breach devices, and you have to go up close and personal, which you're going to get C4'd. So, yeah. Besides that, I would also bring a soft destruction like Buck or Sledge. I would prefer Sledge personally because he has grenades. Basically, your objective with Sledge as a soft breach is to make all the lines of sight into kitchen, just so you can cut off any angles, and even in the hallway you can make lots and lots of vert. This will completely contest the defenders and push them back, or have them put their little stupid heads and peek you. You might get an easy frag, and you might open up lines of sight for your teammates. It makes them feel very uncomfy. Now, if they have a Kate on the hatch and you don't know how to get it off because, you know, you're a silly goober, you can literally nade the hatch. You can literally, like, make a little sledge hole if needed. You just gotta watch C4s and then hot cook the grenade and then bank it down. Not like that, but, you know, a little bit longer, so it basically impacts on the hatch. You can also maybe even nade the sides of it if they have impact trick holes, and you possibly could get it off. But yeah, so Habana and Sledge would take kitchen. You would have some like empty other operator, like maybe like, I don't know, Zofia. Someone just get on the cage and just, you know, watch the main hallway. And then have 2 other people pushing dirt. You're going to want probably like a Maverick once again, and maybe even a Flores. Because what a lot of teams tend to do is they like to set up in dirt and have an extension, which means they have a shield somewhere here of ADSs. A Flores is perfect for this because, you know, he has stuns and he has just, you know, the utility to destroy the shield if Maverick dies. Once you push the person out of dirt or kill him, you now have all lines of sight from the blue rotate, dummies box, just basic hallway, even in the back arsenal. Your main objective is to clear whoever the hell is in back arsenal and push the defenders back. Now, one thing you gotta watch out for is someone trying to retake upstairs. They might just come up main and try to kill the person off cage, but that's once again why you have the person on cage. From there, it's your job to try to find a pick or 2 and then try to drop and try to get a plant down. This is easier said than done, of course. I need to emphasize this once more. You guys, if you guys are doing this take, you guys do not need to clear from top down. You don't need to go bar. You don't need to do anything. If you're readjusting your push mid-round, then it's a little bit different. But you guys have no point in going in bar and dry peeking all these nooks and crannies in every single angle. Because someone's going to be top main waiting for that dumbass to come in hallway or try to walk down main stairs. It's literally not needed. Now, don't get me wrong. When you go down the bottom main, when you have a man advantage of 5v2 or 5v3, you cut off a prominent source of their rotation capability, which is short haul and moto and just long haul. Do whatever you feel is needed, but that is the basic push for downstairs church. Here's a site that you probably will never attack, and by never I mean literally never, which is bar. Now, what I would suggest going bar though is clearing top floor and then working down, you know, from there. For example, what operator I would bring is 100% some type of hard breach once again. Also like Sledge or Buck, so you guys can make vert. I think that you guys should start from outside flat, open up flat wall, and take garage control. I really haven't had to attack bar besides once. It's not like really the most common thing. So basically you take flat, make sure garage is clear, have your teammate take garage control and make sure nobody's, you know, ratting or anything. And then from there, that person in garage, after you guys did take server and you made sure all that's clear, you guys should work your way down red, take stock and lounge control, maybe get some type of flank watch like gridlock or something for this staircase for blue, and you guys can open up stock. And while you're opening up stock, the soft destruction and, you know, someone else or even three and two others can go above, make sure con's clear, all this is clear, get gridlock to gridlock off top red, and you guys can literally make vert on the entire freaking site. You gotta try to do this fast as possible because, you know, this is a lot of ground to cover. But as you can tell, like, you can make vert on complete bar and even on pool table. So you're cutting off any lines of sight that these defenders have in terms of rotating and sitting behind for cover. For example, this bar. This cuts off half the sight. But with the stock walls open, you can cut off any dry spots that you might get from not being able to play vert. So as you can tell, I can literally see everything in bar. Behind the jukebox. Behind the bar. On the little staircase. All of this is vertical. You just gotta watch for them trying to retake upstairs, because that's going to be a very common retake. If you can get this done, then it's perfect. If you can get one person late round when you're making vert to go outside this cage like barricade, you can have a cutoff of where they might try to rotate and when they try to might go up upstairs. Now if you guys have this door open or the wall open, you can even try to rat late round when you're trying to execute a plant, and you can make a play and cut them off from rotating and get a few picks. So basically work vertical, make sure you establish server and garage and lounge and all this map control, and then you can start to execute for the stock walls open, and then you can go upstairs in master and you can play as much vert as possible. Now, this is why I would say either bring a gridlock or bring someone that can just keep their gun up and just watch the flank for top red. All right, let's talk about how to attack upstairs consulate. Now, operators that you're gonna need is definitely nomad. Nomad is, if you don't have nomad, you're gonna need to bring a nomad. If they ban nomad, then you're kind of screwed here. Basically though, as nomad, you're gonna want to nomad off death belt. You're gonna want to nomad off yellow door. Like right here, you're gonna want to bring somebody for claymore and claymore off these piano jump outs, and you can put the last nomad on lobby double right here. Now basically besides that, when it comes to operators, I would bring someone with grenades. I would bring somebody with maybe even smokes. From there, it's really up to you what you guys want to bring. Just nomad is the essential operator. Basically, you're going to want to have somebody on connector rotate, and you're going to want somebody on this console repel here. You're trying to cut off all their rotations, and you're going to want to have maybe 2 or 3 people. I would maybe say 2. Take bottom yellow and try to establish yellow control. Any good team, they're going to have footholds here, and they're going to have a stack of utility on yellow. You're going to have to burn that, whether that's on the hatch or from down below yellow. Basically, once you take yellow control, you now have complete cutoffs for all the sites and whatnot. Probably even a rotation in bathroom. Now that last person, because, you know, we're counting for 4. 2 people on repels with 2 people going up yellow. This last person can do whatever the hell he wants. It's really like whatever. I would suggest maybe have this person try to make a play up spiral, maybe go admin side, or even what he could do is he can stay downstairs in piano waiting for a rotation from anybody trying to get a C4 off, because basically the main premise and where you're trying to end is repelling in console and planning behind the B chassis. Very simple and it's very easy, but it's very hard to execute if not everybody's on the same page or you just get picked off. But this is how I would personally try to attack console. If I wasn't trying to attack like this, I would flip the push over. And in terms of operators, all I need is a hard breach, to be honest, so I can get this wall. And I would try to take admin and then have my teammates go up spiral and visa stairs. Because from there, once again, it's more cutoffs. Or if the person doesn't go up visa stairs, and I mean not visa, spiral, and I have teammates going up visa, I would have just one person sitting on connector. Or they can have one sitting on the console repel, because once again, all these windows have crazy cutoffs. So even when I'm pushing admin, if I have one teammate dedicated to just holding angles, you're bound to see someone try to cross, especially on connector. So basically, once you get admin control, what you're going to want to try to do is open up this wall right here in a meeting with an ace, and this allows you to have another angle into sight And it also allows you to just run into sight if you need. And if you do get the plant down, which is going to probably be on this bomb chassis, you have another angle which the enemies are going to have to worry about if they try to defuse. Either way, pick your poison. It's a pain in the ass either way to attack consulate. Consulate's my least favorite map personally. Here's a difficult site. What we're trying to attack right now is Visa / I believe it's called Archives. In terms of operator selection, I would definitely bring a soft destruction like Sledge. As you can tell, most time you're going to need a soft destruction. And, you know, just operators that can, you know, open up lines of sight and whatnot. I don't think a hard breacher is really needed on this site. But personally, the way I like to do it is I like to go garage over. So you're going to have your teammates make sure you guys drone out yellow. Make sure all this is clear. Drone out garage, blah, 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 blah. And then you guys are going to want to push into garage. You're going to want to push in the cafeteria, take a small office. And basically from here, you're trying to contest the rotation from the staircase right here. And then blue. You're going to want to push the enemies back as far as possible. And then just try to honestly kill. Personally, I would say maybe get 2 or 3 people to push this way. And then have the other 2 maybe lurk around. One maybe on Visa window. Or you can have them on double door. Personally, I'm not very like a fan of this push. It's usually what I do, but I'm not a fan of it because what you have to do is you have to push into so many different angles, and this staircase is a big no-no. So the better way to push this, in my opinion, would be from top floor over. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be repelling in console over here, taking top yellow and clearing the map completely. Making sure nobody's up here. Make sure nobody's on spiral. You can even have one of your teammates push on mid spiral. There's usually a castle barricade right here, but you can probably get a cutoff if you open up that castle. Make sure all this is clear. If your teammate holds the top Visa stairs, this is going to be very effective because now what you could do is you can make complete vertical on this complete site. Now, once again, I would definitely suggest at this point having somebody on this Visa single or Visa double. You guys can try to get a plant off in Visa, but the issue is they're going to probably have a pulse. This is the only reason why a lot of times I don't push this way, because I lose a lot of teammates from here. There is one way, though. You can probably try to plant on one of these desks. Probably not a good idea. Or you can bring an IQ, and if you know pulse is up and you guys have this complete upstairs control, you can try to wallbang them. Or you could just, I guess, try to make vertical. Once again, this is a very hard site. I think you can plant right here tucked in this corner, but you're honestly playing to kill at this point if you can't set up and get man advantage very early. You're going to be pushing into very awkward and annoying angles, and this is probably my least knowledgeable side of, you know, how to attack this map properly. You might even be able to jump up here and get up on this and plant. Talk about attacking lobby. Personally, what I like to do is I like to go vertical over. Operator selection, I'd definitely bring a Sledge. I'd bring a Zofia. I'd bring probably a Finko. You could bring a Yana. Hard breaching capability, I would maybe say like Habana, possibly, because if they do reinforce the hatches. So what I like to do here is I like to get a split of maybe 3 and 2. So for example, I would have 3 people pushing top admin over, making sure all of this is clear, watching the staircases, and cutting off any of the roamers above. And then I would have the other 2, maybe one on the connector rappel, which this is very dangerous. So instead, I would probably get them on bathroom rappel, and then get the other person on console rappel. And then make sure you're basically sandwiching the defenders to either force gunfights that they'll probably lose, or get them to rotate downstairs. From there, you're going to want to, of course, just make vertical, clear any utility that you can. And as you can tell, I can get a complete line of sight into bathroom. Now, this is a very common spot in the connector. A lot of people don't utilize this enough because they don't, once again, utilize vertical control. But you can get the bathroom door. You can basically, you know, have the entire goddamn site. Now, what you're going to want to do if you do establish all this control is your main objective probably is to try to plant on double here, or probably a better place is behind this bomb chassis. So whoever has the diffuser, they can rotate outside lobby. and they can start trying to execute into, you know, into sight. Whether it's right here tucked, it's just you got to watch for the maestro cam, echo cams, whatever, and you can plant. Whoever's on the hatch, they're gonna be easily like looking for that, and you know, they can deny anybody swinging you. The only issue with this push is you're gonna probably need to bring a gridlock, in all honesty, or a nomad or something, because the enemies are gonna try to retake like hell because there's so many goddamn staircases. That is the downside to this, but you know, it's a very great push. So basically sandwich from console and admin and take upstairs and cut off any rotation. Stackable the last site and probably one most common on consulate, which is downstairs garage. I would say bring a 2-3 split here. Have 2 people taking vertical and having 3 people going main breach / yellow. You're gonna want to have one of your teammates go yellow, and then the hard breach and whoever the hell else is outside there of the breach, they take the breach and they just, you know, make sure the breach is open and whatnot. The hard breach is gonna probably have to wait for a buck or a sledge to go get vertical, so they're gonna have to drone and have pre-place upstairs. So basically you're going to need a hard breach, you're going to need someone like nomad, and then you're going to need vertical play, and the rest is really up to you. I would suggest maybe a Flores, because maestro is very effective and it's very hard to get rid of those maestro cams. Could also bring an Ash or Zofia. It's really up to you, or someone with nades and a gong 6. Nomad's going to want a nomad off double door right here. Once you guys make sure all this clear, make vertical play. My vertical play with buck is pretty awful, I'm not going to lie, but as you can tell, you get complete lines of sight for the complete site. And once you're doing this, and once you're actually making vertical play, you're gonna want your other teammate, which was the nomad or something, to either one, try to watch a flank, because she can place a nomad here or midway right here, but it's very easily that they can swing and maybe shoot the tip of it, or they can just come down the little staircase and kill buck. So you're gonna want to protect that soft breacher. As you can tell, once again, you have all lines of sight onto pipes, onto bottom yellow, onto, you know, the bottom chassis, black car, onto cafeteria door. So you can see why even the default rotate, you can see why making vertical play is so important on this side of the map. Even if you make vertical play here, you can even see a tip of where the rotate usually would be. Basically, your main execute right here, once you're making vertical play, you're pinching the defenders to push back, and what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to rotate up spiral or visa, and they're going to try to retake upstairs. That's why if you have somebody with their gun up watching it, or you let them push into nomads, you know, you can push into sight very easily, because from there they have like what, 2 or 3 people on site then, and you know, they're getting pinched by the vertical play and they're feeling the pressure. So usually you would see opening picks that way. So yeah, like from there, once you clear all the utility under white, under black, which is probably the maestro cams, probably get an easy plant behind white, because you have the person then come down from yellow that was initially trying to play yellow. And if you don't know why yellow is so important, is because the person that's playing yellow now, they have lines of sight in a deep cafeteria. They can watch the head holes, they can even watch the long haul. But you can also have the one person outside the breach watch the long haul, have the person on yellow watch the cafeteria, and then the one vertical play operator, you can have them watch behind white / the rotate. So you have all lines of sight, and then you have that last person keeping their gun up for flank. But in a perfect world, a lot of times that's not going to happen. Only in a perfect world, because your teammates are going to die, they're going to get outgunned, etc. So basically that's how you should be attacking consulate most of the time in terms of default setting. Of course you make adjustments from there if needed, but that's how I would attack consulate. So let's talk about how to attack top floor, which is, I believe, called CEO. Now a lot of people just go for square wall, which I'm not a big fan of altogether. So instead, what I like to do in terms of operator selection, I like to bring a Habana or Ace, a more likely Habana, possibly a zero is really good because of the open areas that you have in bank, and Zofia, someone with nades, and then it's always like a big question mark. All these operators are interchangeable. You're gonna want to get Habana on this rappel right here to open up E3 wall, which is elevator 3. Now if you don't understand the E callouts, elevator 1 is basement elevator, E2 is mid-floor elevator, and then E3 is all the way up here, which is a top floor elevator. So what you want is you want Habana on that rappel. You want maybe 2 people pushing from ATMs, and then you might want even somebody on the rappel here for the quad windows, just for any cutoffs. Make sure you place a claymore for the jump outs, and the last person can really do whatever. He can push ATMs as well. You're gonna want to make sure E2 and archives is clear, so when you guys push in, you know, you don't get flanked. You can bring some type of nomad or something, and nomad archives off just for sound indication, and then maybe either just place a body for E2 or just keep your gun up. Basically, you want Habana to open up this E3 wall, because usually there's somebody contesting with a shield, like an echo or something. If you guys do have a problem in terms of, you know, getting any utility off, you're going to want your 2 people in lobby to burn, and then one of them to have nades, and then nade it off. And then you guys are going to want to literally stuff up lobby staircase and, you know, fight for Trump. This is called Trump, this front desk. And since you have the person on the quad wall windows, he does have, you know, complete cutoff of sight, so he can help, and he's very important for these angles. So basically, after Habana gets this angle, after a little while, she can rotate if, you know, the teammates are dying and start dropping. But basically, you guys want to just push up, and then push up on the windows, and just cut off, you know, complete sight, and then just make your way into sight and try to get a plant. Most of the time, this comes down to killing all 5 enemies. This is just how this side of the map plays. But you do gotta look for operators trying to, you know, get a quick flank, whether it's dropping this E hatch into E2 and then getting a flank on spiral. Now let's talk about open area. Open area, you're definitely gonna want to bring some type of hard breach, like a thermite. I would definitely say not a Habana, probably a thermite Ares. Some type of soft destruction like Zofia sledge, and just burn capability like Yana, Zero, etc, etc. Someone with stuns, doesn't matter. Anyways, you guys are gonna want to take top floor control. You can get some people to entry through top square. You can even get somebody to maybe repel in CEO, drone out everything above, and then, you know, your entry has to follow up on this. Once you do get that, you do have lots of vertical play that you guys can play, and, you know, it comes down to one of your teammates honestly playing this vertical control. You guys don't need to push down marble or go spiral. Your sledge, or, you know, whoever can make vertical in archives to cut off anybody in archives. I would suggest giving him a buddy, like having a friend with sledge, just so he doesn't get flanked. And, you know, you guys want to push your bodies into archives just so you can watch if anybody swings. FYI, you guys are going to want to watch for the blue rotate. Somebody can drop. From there, you guys want to open up this quad wall with a thermite. From here, this is where you start executing the plan, and you try to locate any types of utility and whatnot. You know, from here, you should have a perfect cutoff, because you have somebody playing vert, and then you have, you know, your guy watching archives, and, you know, yeah, make sure you have a buddy. Once again, you gotta watch for the rotate. You guys can probably smoke out this double door and then run in and plant on this bomb. Watch for the maestro cams, watch for all the cams, but basically that's what you're going to want to do. Okay, let's talk about attacking archives. Archives is a very annoying site to defend and attack. Kind of like open area, you're going to want to take top-down control. In terms of operator selection, you're going to want to bring a hard breach, of course. You're going to want to bring a soft destruction, and then the rest is really up to you. Fuse is always a good pick on this type of site. You guys are going to want to take upstairs control. You can also take open area, which I would suggest. Maybe bring a flank watch, and then an air jab off beepers. Take top square control. And your main objective up here, don't sledge in like this, by the way. Don't mind the bomb chassis once again. You're going to want to make vert, and you're going to want to fuse the fuse above. Now, when you're making vert and you have a fuse, make sure you guys are watching the flanks. One of you guys be like, okay, fuse, you fuse first, and then I'll sledge. Basically, though, you have complete line of sight everywhere. All in sight. So what this is going to force the enemies to do is to swing out of sight or try to fight the people making vertical. Most of the times, you should have upper hand and kill the guys. So you guys can stay above and you can watch crosses. This will now allow you guys to, you know, have complete cutoffs on sight. It should be easier to get the utility off the wall, and you guys can open up the wall very easily. The guys that's pushing for the wall, the only thing they're going to have to worry about is E2 swing. Now, The only thing about that is, once again, is you have that air jab, but they can get a pixel angle from deep elevator too, as you can tell. So you're gonna have to watch yourself when you're swinging into this line of sight if you're rotating cafeteria. Now, once again, I would suggest maybe 2 or 3 people take open area while the guys are getting vert. The people that that are on support, you guys need to be droning the people upstairs in. But the guys that's getting the 2 or 3 guys that's getting the wall, if it's 3 guys, get the 3rd guy to get out of cafeteria, watch the blue, and then start contesting from these windows. You should easily have sight doing this. Last sight, and which is the most common, is basement. Now, what I would suggest for this is bring a Habana and a thermite. Now, and a nomad for flank. The rest is really up to you. But basically, your main objective right here is to get printer and open area control. Once you do, jab off this double. Jab off cafeteria. Get the hatch. If they do have a Cade, instead of bringing a Habana, bring Maverick. Learn how to Maverick hatches. It's very simple. I have a video somewhere on my channel. If you can't Maverick both hatches, just Maverick this sight hatch. Once you guys have all that control, simultaneously, what should be happening is the thermite and whoever else should be taking blue. If they have a shield on top blue, you know, make sure you burn and then grenade. 2 people should be pushing top blue if that's how the shield is, and then 1 person should be pushing dirt. You should have immediate cutoff, and you guys should be able to pinch, especially if the hatch open and all that. Whatever. Now, when you guys do take the site, thermite needs to open this wall. Now, if you guys have 5 people up this late in the round and you guys are ready to execute and you're burning utility, you can get one of your teammates to walk down marble staircase or walk through garage. It's really time sensitive, but it's really up to you. Basically, your main objective is take server, open area, and then, you know, establish control and then get an easy plant while holding the hatch. It's very simple. Okay, so how to attack upstairs canal. In terms of operator selection, you're going to want to bring a nomad, a maverick, and a thermite or ace. It's really up to you. I would suggest the thermite. It's a lot easier to deal with. Doesn't get impact tricked, etc. The other 2 operators is really up to you guys, but more grenades is always good, in my opinion, and stuns. Air jab off the top white staircase. Have 2 or 3 of your teammates, including maverick and thermite, you know, pushing to open the wall. I would suggest air jabbing off the run out here and then air jabbing off right here on the top red, so they don't even have the ability to swing and even possibly get a frag if somebody rotates. As soon as you guys open up this wall, you should also have somebody either pushing bottom red and trying to pinch the guy in the staircase, and the guy in pill can swing, but usually they have feet holes. So if they're doing that, I would suggest instead of doing that, you have 2 of your teammates pushing skybridge and you guys almost get a pinch. Honestly, canal is really gun oriented. You can go below and you can nade basically everything. So if you wanted to try to do something like that while someone's pushing up skybridge, you can probably make a play happening, because the guy pushing skybridge will have the enemy sounds mask and they'll have no idea that someone's pushing skybridge, and they'll just be like, oh shit, someone's nading below. This map is completely gun oriented, and it's a very ranked style map. So you just gotta hope that these idiots run into you, or you're having good drone work and it's good crosses. Okay, now if the site is Coast Guard / lounge area, here's what I suggest you guys do. Basically, you guys want to take upstairs control. Now, the reason why you're going to want to do that is because you're going to want to take control room and maybe start from top red and then clear all of this. Make sure upper bridge is clear. Make sure all of this. Make sure printer stairs and whatever. Make sure you're bringing some type of hard breach like thermite, once again, or ace. And your main objective is to open up this blue stairs wall. Now, while you have 2 or 3 teammates doing that, make sure you have 2 teammates, maybe bottom yellow, clearing basement, and then you guys can, you know, swing, you know, have a cross if anybody tries to swing. Once you have all this control, you can probably get one of your teammates to go up top white and then come down top white while you guys are executing onto site. Your main objective of here is to really try to get a plant down in this lounge area. It's a very unplayed site, and I don't see this played very much, but when it's played, it's very annoying to attack. Next, I'm going to show you how to attack map room. In terms of operator selection, you're going to want a soft breach like a buck or sledge. You're going to want a hard breach like Habana to get the hatches, and maybe a gridlock or nomad because there's going to be staircases. Now, what's your main objective here, guys, is to establish upstairs control. The reason for this is so you can play vertical and then get the hatches open. So, for example, if someone has a hard breach device, you guys could open up this box wall. I would even maybe suggest 2 hard breaches. You're going to want to take top pill and clear red. And then, you know, you're going to want to have maybe 2 people pushing sky bridge. Make sure you're droning all this out and thoroughly checking. And, you know, you can get some flank work going down. And if your nomad has to run around and put down these air jabs, make sure you're watching the staircases for her. Now, the defense shouldn't just let you guys run around like idiots upstairs and take it. But sometimes it does happen. From here, you're just going to want to make vertical, guys. Now, this cuts off the entire line of sight. So while your sledge is making vert, you can have somebody on mid-platform red stairs watching anybody running around because they're scared. You can have somebody outside museum trying to establish museum control. Or while someone's taking museum control, have somebody else walk down bottom green, and it's almost like a sandwich effect. You guys can now cut off all the rotations and lines of sight and all the little like corners that the enemies might be. You guys will get picks playing like this. There's a lot more vert that I just haven't made, as you can tell. All this is vert. Every single corner, guys. The only thing you have to worry about now is model and the flanks. Planning is really difficult on this side, but usually if you get it properly cleared, you might be able to drop security and plant right here. Or you can plant on the door if you guys go cafeteria. This one's hard. Once again, it's canal, so it's very ranked style. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna show you how to attack basement. Now, usually I actually hate attacking this side of the map, but once again, we're gonna go for vertical play. So what you're gonna need is a Habana. Once again, need soft destruction, and this really comes down to how you want to play it. But you guys do need reception control. You do need to take archives. You can have 1 or 2 people pushing for this, but someone's going to be contesting you, or they're going to have a pulse downstairs. So watch for the C4s. I would also suggest maybe 1 person go down a white staircase, maybe have 1 person on radio room, just so if anybody does try to cross, you might get a pick here. Or you can even have somebody on the lounge rappel if somebody's trying to re-swing in. When you do get upstairs control, make sure you're placing either air jab or a body for white stairs, and then a body for yellow just for the flank. White stairs is good because you can also see if anybody tries to rotate in between sites and whatnot. You have complete vert control. Literally. On lockers, on everything. From here, you need to ask yourself what's your end goal here. Like, where are you trying to get to and where you're trying to plant the bomb. Because you guys can funnel down the hatch, but that's just another option. Funneling down the hatch is probably not the best option. So what you can do is you can have 1 or 2 people walk down white, and then have somebody take trench control. And you guys can take trench and then start pushing into sight that way. Or you can go down yellow. But if you have all this control, there's no point in going yellow, because this is probably the most common place that these guys are going to be sitting. Okay, now let's talk about attacking upstairs on chalet. Now there's 2 different ways that you should be taking this map. One is the default, which is going library main, going for main wall, and then clearing over and then opening up the breach. Let's start with that. In terms of operator selection, you might as well want, you know, of course, a hard breacher, someone that has some deniability. Okay, first let's talk about fireplace. Now, in terms of operator selection, you're gonna want a hard breach. Ace, thermite is probably a good go-to. I think that Habanas, like the pellets, can be very inconsistent, and I notice a lot of people just F up when using Habana. So please just bring thermite or ace. In terms of operators, you can bring an operator like gridlock. I'm a very advocate when it comes to flank watch for gridlock when it comes to staircases. Can bring nomad if you want, and gridlock off, you know, the bottom snowmobile stairs, because this is very common for someone to crouch walk up and try to shoot people. You can also put a bunch of track stringers in dining hall, maybe 1 bottom library staircase. or midway library staircase, and the last one's really up to you. You're gonna want to bring someone with grenades. I would say bring a Zofia and you can just go below and impact it, but if it's a cage charge, you're probably gonna need a nade. So someone of nades, you can go right here and then you can grenade. Now there's two sets of groups. I would say that you would need a 2-3 split here. I know this sounds like basketball terms once again, but you know, like a 2-3 zone. But you're gonna want to have two people on maybe K9 balcony. One can, you know, sit there watching K9 Belk and maybe make a play on the balcony here and cut off a line of sight, because usually there's a rotate and usually there's someone playing close. That's really up to you if you want this person here. And then you can get the hard breacher droning out library for whoever's pushing library. Now you want 2 or 3 people pushing library. I'd maybe say 2, because there's only so much room that you can take with 3 people. So just take 2. The hard breacher will drone you guys in, you guys take box, all of this. Make sure you're acting off this drone's information and not sitting back just baiting, because information that's late is once again late. So say if you know piano hall was clear at one point and then that was 5 seconds ago, and then you finally decide to take it and someone swings, that's not the droner's fault, that's yours for acting off the information late. This is something you need to pin into your brain. A lot of people have a hard time establishing map control, and that's kind of the point of this entire video. Now you notice how I said basically a 2-3 split. Instead of that, 2 people library, 2 people K9, and then maybe you can have somebody outside this highway window or on even big window. I would also suggest maybe even bringing a Flores. Actually thinking about it right now, because Flores can actually destroy so much utility. You can bring the drones in from the piano window, bring it from the roof here, and yeah, get the shield and whatever else is here. Now if you don't go the K9, I mean a highway window, you can go on big window, and once again this is very prominent for this take, because you can cut off all the rotation, and you know, if they get pushed back once you open the breach, you should be able to get an easy pick. You just got to watch for the runouts. That's personally how I would attack fireplace. You can, you know, do whatever you want in terms of operator selection, but that's just a brief explanation. Now let's talk about the other push, which is solar over. Now basically you're going to want to have 1 or 2 people on this rappel, just droning out, holding angles, watching for the cross, because the people, you will have teammates coming up from trophy stairs. Whoever's on the rappel, drone, you know, trophy out. Make sure that, you know, your entries can, you know, establish map control. If they're holding kitchen dining very heavy, guys, and they're waiting for you guys to jump in, have somebody push from west main. Now one thing you're gonna have to worry about is people ratting downstairs or the west main angles. Basically you want to clear all this map, make sure you grab all this control. In terms of operator selection, of course the hard breach is always good, because you're gonna need to open up, you know, the wall here, but we'll talk about that in a second. You can bring a nomad if you really wanted to nomad off dining door, or just to nomad off these 2 trophy, you know, split door frames here, just so it's going to be very hard for them to flank and, you know, contest you guys. Now once you get all of this control, what you're going to want to be doing is opening up this solar wall, establishing this control. Don't open up solar wall until your teammates can actually take up to bathroom door, because then you're giving the defenders another angle to peek you. It's very irritating. Make sure you get bathroom control. Make sure bathroom's clear. Have a body sit in bathroom. Open up the wall here. You can have one of your teammates rotate to big window once again, because that cuts off any rotation from the piano hall here, and the rotation, and you know, just from the closet right here. And then yeah, just as you can tell, we're sandwiching the map around site, and we're establishing a lot of control. It's just so we can get a plant down. So that's how I would, you know, take upstairs. Okay, now let's talk about kitchen dining. This is a very like, you know, slept on part of the map in terms of ranked. I don't see a lot of ranked players playing kitchen dining unless you're in champ or high diamond. I don't know about console though, to be honest, because I don't watch a lot of console, but from what I've played in PC, basically what you want to do is you're going to want to be taking library over. In terms of operator selection, bring a hard breach, bring a sledge, bring people with nades, and then, you know, of course, gridlock or nomad. It's really up to you, just for the flank watch. Establish library control. Make sure you're getting droned in from top library. Make sure all of this is clear, because what they're going to be doing is they're going to be probably extending upstairs in piano, and you need to start clearing them. I would suggest 2 people push the library side while getting droned in from maybe your hard breach or whatever. You can even set a body on K9 balcony if they're playing office heavy, just so they can watch any swings or rotations in terms of office. Basically, your goal here is to take piano control and just cut off anybody that's upstairs and push them back into master. What you can also have one of your extra teammates on the big window. It's really up to you guys of what you want to do in terms of the other people that you do have on your team. But basically, your whole objective is to clear all upstairs. Make sure master bedroom's clear. Make sure, you know, solar's clear. And make sure you get some type of flank on solar stairs, or you have one of your teammates with their gun up. Because now, the person that's playing vertical, their goal is to open up this entire line of sight. All in sight. Of course, do a better job than me. This is just an example. But the entire site is vertical. It's all soft. You can play vert on it. And even west main, you can have one of your teammates rotate down to west main window as soon as you guys you know, take upstairs control and you're making vert. Because what's going to happen is the defenders are going to try to probably rotate their body into west main, and you know, they can watch head holes for trophy, or they can, you know, watch the breach. Now, while Sledge is making, or Buck, whoever, is making vert, the hard breach and whoever the hell else needs to rotate down fireplace, open up this main wall. Now, once again, establishing all this map control is very difficult. So that's why I say putting a gridlock on bottom fireplace stairs, maybe putting one for dining hall for a swing, or maybe even bar hall for library stairs. Right here, you can open up these walls, and with these walls being opened, you can hold long angles from the staircase, from literally everywhere. And with a combination of this being open completely and having vertical play, the defenders should be pushed back all the way the hell back, where they're fighting either the guy's vertical, and they're just so uncomfy that they got to try to rotate out of sight. That's why I'm saying bringing gridlock or nomad is very prominent here. Because these guys are going to try to retake up trophy stairs if they're even able to rotate. So keep that in mind. From there, you can just plant behind the little bomb chassis. And honestly, this should be an easy round. This is a very difficult part of the map to control. But it's also very easy to execute once you actually have all this control. And, you know, whatever. But in a perfect world, you're not going to have all 5 guys up. Some people are going to get picked off easy, and etc. But that's how I would attack kitchen dining. Okay, now let's talk about bar. A lot of you guys probably don't defend bar gaming if you play at chalet here and there. Once again, I don't know how console is played, so some of you guys from console, you know, I honestly have no idea. Usually I know basement and top floor is the 2 most common sites on chalet for the average player, I would say. But let's talk about bar gaming. In terms of operator selection, I'm a huge advocate for Sledge. He's one of my favorite operators in the game, so I usually just always go Sledge. Besides Sledge, you would probably need like a hard breach. Probably like Habana would be good here, so you can open up any hatches like that they have upstairs in the site. And, you know, probably nomad or gridlock once again. The only thing with gridlock on this site is you're going to be putting your track stringers across, you know, the map. So you're not going to hear if they punch it or shoot it. So if you are going to go gridlock or nomad, place your flank watch closer to you guys, so you guys can either hear it or act off the intel itself. I would also bring a Flores here. So Flores, Sledge, hard breach, and then, you know, a flank watch, of course. And the last operator is really up to you. You can make other operators work. This is just what I would prefer once again. Okay, so you guys are going to go solar over. So basically have one of your teammates, you know, get droned in trophy so they can take this staircase while you have one of your teammates repelled on this. The other person that's on outside the rappel, get him to drone in the, you know, the entry. Make sure bathroom's clear, make sure master's clear, make sure closet's clear, make sure everything is clear. You want to take over to piano. Now from piano, if your entry, make sure office is clear as well, by the way. If your entry is already waiting in office, tell them to be patient and just hold an angle. Very passive angle for a swing. And from here, what you're going to see is there's going to be lots of head holes. There's going to be a shield top fireplace. There's going to be a shield top library. Now, Flores, what Flores should be doing is he should be probably outside this roof, sending in Flores drones to get rid of the shield. Now, he should be able to get one of them. He really should be able to, unless they have a mute. If that's a no-go, what you can do, and by the way, if one of these walls are hard, Habana can open up a line of sight. Makes it difficult for the person playing the shields and library, you know, to swing. But if he doesn't get the shield, you need to burn. So you need someone to flash grenades, which is either Hibana or Flores. Make sure they burn, and then you nade the top shield up here. Now the sledge or whoever has the grenade can probably rotate outside K9. And if you have flashes left, you can probably burn for the ADS on top fireplace, and you can probably just bank a nade up against the wall. And it will bounce right there, and it'll get rid of the other shield. This will force the player to either be naked and just have his gun up and try to dry swing shit, or push him back into library and drop the goddamn hatch. Once you guys establish all this control before nading and whatnot, you can have one of your teammates go outside library double or library single and just hold angles and wait for someone to swing and try to rotate down the hatch once you clear all the utility. From here, if you get all of top floor control, make sure you have one of your teammates watching either the library flank or the top fireplace flank while, you know, your soft destruction is making vertical. Once again, this is part of the map that's, you know, completely vertical. You can even see down this snowmobile staircase. The only thing about this is you can't get the bar vert. I mean, not bar, billiards. Bar/billiards, like, rotate. You have a very scuffed angle, like here. But this is all you really need, to be honest. You can even get an angle into stock from the very top of it. This will be reinforced, but you can literally shoot above it and get an angle if you didn't know that. From here, you can get whoever has the bomb to rotate outside this big double window. And while you have the person on vert and, you know, a friend holding his hand, making sure he's not getting flanked, you know, they can start working for, you know, the plant. They can either wait for the jump in, because you can get one of your other teammates to either walk down library stairs, or you can get one of your teammates to jump in mud and hold across into sight. There's a lot of angles here, and there's a lot of things that you can be doing. Just keep in mind and ask yourself, what does your angle, you know, do for the team? Is this really helping you either pick off a cutoff that the defenders might go, or are you just baiting for a frag? Either way, that is personally how I would attack bar. As you can tell, a lot of these maps, you're literally just going clearing the entire map and establishing map control very quickly. Let's talk about one of the most common sites on Chalet, Snowmobile Garage. There's two different ways that you can play this, and it's really up to you in terms of laziness or like how much map control you really want to get. Let's talk about the easy way, which is trench big snowmobile. For example, operators that I would be going here, since Thatcher is always banned, bring a Maverick and then some other hard breacher like Thermite, Ace, Hibana. It doesn't really matter. It's really up to you. Personally, I wouldn't just bring a Hibana, because like for trench walls, you want to, if you need to open up more lines of sight. You don't need like a little hole, for example, that's a little square, and then they can tuck left of the breach. So I'd bring Ace or Thermite for trench. The rest, I would really just bring burn capability and maybe even a Flores. So Flores is perfect for that because he has stun grenades, but they might bring a mute. Anyways, what I like to do starting out in the round, I either like to get one of my teammates to get on this rappel, and I Maverick a line into the reinforcement, and he can, you know, now he can maybe get a free pick on somebody rotating, or somebody blue, or somebody on the default rotate. If he does get that first pick, and that's what you guys do, don't keep peeking the same goddamn angle. Tell him to rotate, because you guys now have man advantage. But if you're not doing that with Mav, what I like to do is I like to just burn random little holes in this wall, just so I can rotate maybe late round and then come back to these. This also makes the defenders feel very uncomfortable. While you're doing that, the rest of your teammates should be doing is maybe one of them is nomad and they go west main, and they nomad off dining double, and they nomad off just west main in general, just so nobody can flank down the staircase. Your other teammates, two of them should be taking like a big garage. They need to drone all of that out and drone out fridge hall. Your main hard breacher should be out here on the trench, outside the trench, waiting for Maverick. So when he's doing that, he should be helping the people drone out fridge hall and whatnot. Maverick, once Maverick rotates and there's a Kate on the wall, all he has to do is burn a little circle. Damn, that's a big hole. Burn a little circle in the very top and grenade after the ADSs get burned. That should get the Kate off, and Thermite or Ace will open this wall up. Now, if you guys cannot get the Kate or mute jammer off this long angle wall, that's okay. Maverick brings out his torch once again, and he just makes the lines of sight here. This is good for cutoffs and whatnot, because you basically can see all retake capability for the defenders. Once again, in terms of the nomads, you guys should not get flanked. There should be a nomad right here, and maybe even right here. Now, if they push up this dining single, they can shoot it, but you're going to hear a gunshot more than likely. If somebody does die, though, put a West Main flank cam just for this reason. You do not want to get flanked. Also, if this hatch is open, you're probably going to want to flip the push entirely, and I'll explain that after. But let's act like that hatch isn't open, or the dining hatch isn't open. Because if these hatches are open, you're going to attack this completely different, okay? But yeah. Say you guys did all that. You guys should be able to, you know, burn the shield that's on pillar as well. And Mav should have a nade to get rid of it once you burn. And then whoever's the hard breacher should be able to just go into sight and plant. It's very simple. Now, let's say this hatch is completely open because the defenders are playing it. What they're doing is they're extending up top into dining and trophy side. And they're roaming. So personally, what I would do... Because you can't run in now. You can't get a plant down. You can't. It's cutting off so many annoying angles. I would go library over once again and clear the goddamn map. Because once you establish library control and you completely clear like the map once again. You can hold this angle for snowmobile, by the way. You guys can take upstairs control, and if you have 2 or 3 people pushing trophy / west main windows, you can now cut off the guy that's holding the dining hatch easily just by playing vert up here in office. They should have to rotate, and then now they'll have to bunker into sight. So you're basically clearing the top floor down. You're going floor to floor. As you can tell, I'm clearing solar, I'm clearing trophy, I'm clearing dining, I'm clearing all this, and now I have all this control, and they're all pushed back into sight. The only way that they can really rotate is coming up snowmobile or library stairs. You would have one of your teammates either on the whole top floor, and then another teammate maybe watching this staircase, and you can make all the vertical in the goddamn world. If you guys really wanted to, you guys can open this hatch and then go for the snowmobile wall at the front here. All this vertical play will cut all the defenders off. They will not be able to play all these annoying goddamn angles. Whatever you want to do, it's really up to you in terms of what attack. I'm just trying to give you the information and the guidance to push you in the right direction. Now let's talk about how to attack upstairs. In terms of operator selection, bring a hard breach. As you can tell, hard breach and self-destruction is needed on like literally 99% of maps, like objectives. What I would suggest is bring a sledge or a buck or someone just to get the hatch. I wouldn't suggest someone with breaching charges because you're just going to see forward. Basically, don't have your entire goddamn team up on the roof, sitting up here, waiting just to drop one by one like penguins on the roof. So whoever's the soft breach, you guys open up the hatch. This is a little bit more difficult and annoying, but I would say have maybe 1 or 2 people on rappel here. Make sure you have claymores, so you can bring someone like Zofia or Zero, someone with a lot of utility and a lot of purpose into the round. And you guys can basically just, you know, claymore off windows because you guys have 2 apiece. This will cover every single window. So at least if someone jumps out and you die, you get a refrag. Basically, you have somebody on this ticket rappel. They can literally sit here watching any swings. And, you know, they can drone out, and they're just showing presence, basically. They don't need to overpeak. They don't need to sit here like this. Oh, my God. Hey, guy on the bitch corner. It's just a cutoff. The other person, you can have them, once again, on this other piano rappel, just so they have the angle for if anybody's swinging wide, or if anybody's on the piano, or, you know, it's pressuring the defenders back, or it's pressuring them to fight. While you guys are on the rappel, the hard breach should be able to get this wall, and it's CS or cigar shop. This all should be completely droned out by the time. And then entry can now take CS because, you know, you have your 2 teammates on the goddamn rappels, and they should have already droned all of piano out to make sure, you know, you can actually swing in safe. Make sure you guys shoot default and then start working together from here. Your main objective now is to, if you have hard breach capability left and there's nothing on this wall, you can open this up. Because if you open up freezer now, you're cutting off all the defenders to be in very awkward scenarios. And with this default rotate, they're kind of stuck fighting and dry peeking a lot of stuff. And they're not going to be able to rotate once again. You want to have presence towards white hallway for the rotation once again, and anybody rotating from basement. You can take up it into bathroom And when you guys are executing on a site, you can double up and have maybe 2 people push up in the white hallway. It really depends on what's happening in the round and how many bodies you guys do have up. Basically though, you should be able, getting into the round, to push in and get a plant down anywhere from default plant to cart to trash bag, somewhere, because you guys have all the presents. Okay, let's talk about how to attack mining slash I don't even remember what it's called, to be honest. Anyways, you guys are going to be basically taking top floor down once again. Now, you guys can make some other plays like going up red, or, you know, going for the quad wall, or you know, do whatever. But once again, this is just how I would personally like to attack it. So take top floor, drone all of top floor. In terms of operator selection, I would definitely say a sledge. A vertical play is definitely needed. Flank watch would be nice, like a gridlock, or, you know, for these staircases. And really, the rest in terms of operators is really up to you. I would maybe bring a hard breacher as well, because if you guys do take bottom white, you can open up the wall. So yeah, that's definitely what we're going to be doing here. So make sure everything upstairs is, you know, clear. Don't all funnel through one hatch. You can have somebody maybe placed on skylight, or on this cocktail like window, or this white staircase window. You can have them holding a, you know, a sliver on the AC unit that can cut off white hallway. Basically, your main objective is take all upstairs. Make sure you're watching the staircases. Sledge should be able to play vert all over here on site, literally on both sides. You don't get the deepest angles, but right here, as you can tell, you can play vert literally everywhere. You're cutting off that complete site. You guys can work towards going down white and getting this wall right here. You just got to make sure laundry's clear and reading room is clear. If you're going to be doing this type of take, you're going to have to probably get a presence from snow door, which is right here. And then you can cut off any pillar rotations or reading rotations. And you can even have somebody watch heaven while you're doing this, just so if anybody swings pillar or swings up brown, you should be able to get a refrag. And once you establish all this map control, they are going to probably try to retake red, so you just got to keep your gun up for that. But your main objective right here is to open up these walls. And let's act like this is a thermite breach. So you have a deep angle into sight. They shouldn't be able to play any feet holes because the guy playing vertical. And you guys should be able to get a plant literally on the breach. Now, you're going to probably have somebody have to double up and watch a reading 90. Or you can have somebody just push up reading 90 and hold the angle. I don't attack this side of the map very much, but that's personally what I would do. Keep in mind, all of this is destructible. You got to watch if this hatch is open for anybody below. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of flanks. It's going to be a very hectic round. Okay, let's talk about how to attack reading. Reading is kind of like mining. The way that you start the attack round. In terms of operators, I would say, you know, once again, a sledge or a buck, someone that can play vertical. And, you know, some type of flank watch. I would say maybe bring a hard breach, because they're going to probably have this ticket wall, you know, reinforced, or, you know, they're going to have certain walls that you might want to open reinforced. So it's always good just to have a hard breach. So even ace is good. Basically, you want to clear all up top. Very simple, very easy, but it's very hectic. Clear everything. Push the defenders down white. Make sure they rotate from cocktail lounge. And from here, what you're going to want to be doing is playing vertical. A lot of the times, creating vert is the most prominent part of the round, as you can tell. Because you're making the defenders feel uncomfy, and they're going to have to rotate. Your ending point, which means where you're going to be planting and what your end goal is probably going to be planting reading door. This is very common. But a lot of times it's not going to happen because it's a hectic round, because there's so many places that the defenders can be. But this is what you could be doing. You can even get angles into the hallway, as you can tell. Really up to you how much vert you want to do, and like what angles you want to be holding and like putting your attention to. But from here, you're gonna want to have this by the way is gonna take most of the round up. Just, you know, taking upstairs control. You gotta watch for brown stairs. Watch for the, you know, little dark spot peak. Some people might be ratting over there, and they might try to rotate mining. If you're in a position where you're in a 3v2 or something, you can... From here, you got a drop pillar, and you can probably, you know, get an easy plant because you have your teammates playing vertical. Literally, all of this is vert. I didn't make all the vert that I should have. Like, for example, this corner. I have it right on this door frame. Like, I would need it right here. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Late into the round, you can probably have one person watch white or push down white while you guys are executing if you have that much man advantage. Like, say it's still a 5e, you know, 4, 5e3, because he should be able to pick off one person rotating around site and into reading 90. Last but not least, let's talk about kitchen, basement, bakery side. In terms of operators, you can do quite a bit with this. Personally, I would bring a hard breacher with a Maverick as well, because Cade Thatcher is going to be banned 90% of the time. Bring a Nomad on this site. Basically, all you're going to want to do with Nomad is Nomad off Wedding or Small Bakery, which is right here on one ping. And, you know, this person, which is Nomad, can now hold the angle or just, you know, hold the red rotate. Might get swung from red stairs. Basically, your main objective is taking bakery control. You can always go play vertical on this side of the map, but if you're doing that, let your teammates know. It is always effective, especially if you're guys going for a front bakery. If you guys are going to do that, make sure you have 2 people, including the self-destruction taking upstairs. Fuse is always good on this side of the map, in my opinion, because you can clear so much utility very easy and quick, and you have breaching charges. You just got to watch for the C4. Basically, you want to be opening up this front bakery wall. I would suggest bringing thermite with a Maverick, just so you can just get it off, and then you have smoke grenades for the head holes if they do have any, or you can smoke off this double door, and you can just get in and get an easy plant once you clear the shield or anybody playing this kitchen window. And if you do have somebody playing vertical, they can cut off K1 and K2, so nobody can sit like little rats. They're going to be pushed back, and they're going to be pushed to either try to rotate upstairs or force gunfights. That's very, very annoying on their part. So basically, just establish bakery control, establish prep control, and small bake control. And if you want to get vertical, have two people upstairs, making the vert and one person watching the flank for the refrag. Talk about one of the easiest parts of the map to attack, which is army lockers. Personally, I go sledge when it comes to border. I would also suggest bringing a hard breach once again, whether you're going office over or just the front wall. I would also bring somebody else with grenades, like maybe a Yana or even a Flores, to destroy any utility that's on the wall. But you're gonna probably have to end up nading one of the Cades off. Personally, if you've watched all my like any of my videos where I play border, I like to drone downstairs, and I like to get a nade off right here. Now, if you don't know where this is basically where the default shield on the lockers will be. So any ADSs and shield or person will basically be destroyed or die. I like to go with a basic army lockers take, but I just want you guys to know, if you do have an open spot, bring OSA. I shit you not, on this map, OSA is so goddamn effective. The hard breach and whoever's pushing army lockers, you guys first got to make sure security is clear. I would also suggest bringing a nomad for this, just so you can nomad off, you know, break room so they can't flank, or place a nomad even better on this double just so they can't, you know, swing out and hit the air jab, and then they'd basically be screwed, you know. Make sure you have all this control before you go for the wall, and then once you guys do go for the wall, open it up. Whoever has a grenade can go down below once again and grenade half wall, and clear whoever's on half wall, and the people that's on breach should have a swing. What OSA could do is place a shield outside lockers right here, and with this basic reinforcement, you can try to get the easy like plant down just right here on the hard wall if you guys cleared all of that. Or what you could do is you can place a OSA shield right here and then plant. It's going to be very hard for them to get an angle. They're gonna have to literally crawl up to the goddamn thing and expose most of their body. And if you have somebody tucked right to the breach, watching the footholes and watching, you know, anybody for that swing, you could be getting the easy frag. The Osa that's on this shield can get anybody swinging unless she has the reaction time of a grandpa on an N64 controller, aka me. And you can always have somebody try to lurk up metal staircase, or you can get them to, you know, push from the other side of like maybe bricks, or go on AC unit and get a cutoff here, because basically that's what you're gonna have is a cutoff. Or you can get them on sandwich rappel. It's really up to you, but that's personally how I like to attack army lockers. Let's talk about how to attack ventilation. Once again, I would suggest an Osa. Bring a hard breach, bring a sledge. The last two picks is really up to you, but you guys are gonna probably get flanked. I would suggest maybe gridlock or nomad. So as you can tell, a lot of these operators run the same universally. I would personally put an Osa shield outside, you know, parking lot, just so you can watch the west main rotate when you guys are playing vertical above. This will now cut off anybody trying to rotate from bottom metal or into site or server. Very annoying on their part. I would also suggest maybe one person pushing from maybe two people actually pushing archive side, and then two people pushing army locker side. So now you can get like almost like a sandwich effect. Basically what you're going to want to be doing is you're going to want to hard breach this wall. This now cuts off like more angles for the defenders to have to worry about. Make sure you clear all upstairs, office, everything, and then get your soft destruction to play vert literally all over the upstairs. Cool. From here, you guys should got a pick or two, to be honest. Have the person playing vert stay above, because you can now cut off their rotation on the default rotate here. Remember the Osa shield? You have that person playing the Osa shield. The person with bomb should rotate out and try to jump in vent window. You can even get somebody to double up on her if you really need it. Or you can get one of your teammates to go down top metal, and then get a cutoff at anybody rotating. This plant should be very simple and easy, especially when you have the sledge watching the rotate. But shit happens. But that's personally how I would attack. Let's talk about how to attack bathroom tellers. Of course, bring a hard breach. You can bring a nomad. You can bring vertical play if you really want to. Just bring stuff to, you know, burn and destroy utility. I would suggest just going horizontal over, which means take ventilation, take west main, have a few people taking customs / detention. Make sure you guys establish customs control. Make sure you guys take workshop control. Basically what you're going to be doing is trying to go for this bathroom wall. If you really wanted to, you can rotate one of your teammates to passport. If one of your teammates have passport, they now have any cutoff of, you know, anybody going down east stairs. This is very helpful because now nobody can peek from this goddamn stupid staircase and take bottom east. Because the bottom east has a cutoff on customs. Basically, you're just cutting off all lines of sight and sandwiching them in the sight. You should have enough utility like nades or whatnot to, you know, burn and then nade any corners that they might be in. For example, this stupid little corner here should kill them. Or you can nade like under the hatch. And if you guys are going to start taking sight, make sure the planner is planning in a area where you can either cover or get a refrag. For example, if he covers like tucked right here, should be able to see the hallway. The person in passport should be able to see this hallway. Or, you know, you should have multiple people watching every single angle. Communicate what you guys are watching. Last but not least, the most annoying stupid site that nobody ever goes is custom / detention. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up detention as like probably a thermite. Bring vertical control, which is probably like a bucker sledge. You guys can also bring a flank watch for up top. You guys are going to have to clear all security room up top, guys. Make sure you establish all of this control in terms of break and whatnot. From here, what you're going to want to do is have sledge play vertical on site. All of this is vertical play. Even if it's a little bit scuffed, everything is vert. So get him to play vert and cut off everybody in sight. Having 2 vert players would not be that bad right here. Maybe even a buck. While this is happening, you can have one of your teammates try to take downstairs workshop. If you don't know what workshop is, it is outside West Main. I mean ventilation. I said workshop. Holy shit, I'm stupid. Anyways, having somebody take ventilation and then you have a cutoff for bottom metal, and then, you know, any rotation in sight, and then workshop door. This is risky, but it can be very helpful late round. You can also have one of your teammates push down metal hall, or you can have one of your teammates push down east staircase. But these solo plays might work once and not work again, so it's really up to you with what you want to do. But as you can tell, all this is vert, even the bottom metal in the workshop. From here, your teammate, which is the thermite, might be able to walk in sight from detention, or might be able to jump in this window and plant tucked on this island. If you have one person on the breach or pushed up in detention, there should be no reason why your thermite gets swung while he's planting. And if you have somebody somehow the bottom metal, there should be no way he gets swung. That is how I would push customs. Alright, let me show you how to attack storage. What you're going to need is you're going to need a hard breach, and the rest is really up to you. I'd probably bring a Maverick just in case you can't get this wall. At least you can burn above and then nade it, or you can go below if you don't know where below is. It's right on this window, and then right here. You need a nade below. You just gotta watch for the runouts. This is one of those maps where bringing a gun, and only a gun after you open a wall, is probably your best option. So while you have 2 people working for the wall, which is probably the Maverick and Thermite, of course, you're going to want to have teammates work trash shoot. Take upstairs, take the trash stairs, bottom and top. You can have, you know, 2 guys take the top control, and then you can have 1 guy even go the below and come up the staircase. Now, what this does now is, you know, it pushes the defenders back once they have, you know, the main wall open, and, you know, you gotta watch for that angle. But now they can't really rotate in between sites, so now they're all the way pushed back in coin farm. So you guys should be able to just run in at one point and just get a plant down once you get a few picks. That's how I would push this. Once again, favela is a very rank style map, so gun up. For bunks / coin farm, which is the opposite, it's like the same site that I just showed you how to attack. You can literally do all the same things in terms of trash and, you know, opening up this wall, because that's how the defense plays it. From here, the only thing you're gonna have to worry about is trying to establish control into, you know, coin farm. So you guys are gonna have to actually play deeper into green and, you know, take gunfights. It's very rank style-ish, but this is honestly all you really have to do is establish all this map control, and then you can try to get a plant behind this black box. Probably the most protected area that you can plant, to be honest. All right, so let's say the bomb is in pink apartment / I believe what is it called, yellow or blue apartment. Okay, so if you guys are going to attack that, I would suggest going above and playing vertical. If you didn't know where vertical play is, or you could play vertical, you can play vert all in pink apartment, as you can tell right here. So you're gonna want to take trash side. You're gonna want to take top pink, or top red, I mean. I don't know why this looks pink to me. You basically want to get the same control that you did for the first top floor sites, as you can tell. And basically, I don't know why the bomb just keeps going here, by the way. Basically, you're just going to want to have your teammates watching the mezzanine stairs here and any other flank, and basically start working vertical play. One of the most common spots on pink is behind the fridge here. So if you want to play vertical on that, gotta play like this. Very annoying beams, in my opinion. And then from there, you guys can also open up this hatch. Which, if you're able to, you can get somebody on this pink window right here. And basically, this watches the complete rotate if they do try to rotate in between sites. I know it's pretty annoying because you're going to have to repel. But you can be a sneaky snake. Maybe even stay on a cam or something and wait for one of them to swing. Or you can just drop the hatch and establish this control while your other teammate drops the hatch and goes for a plant. And once again, you can have vertical play on this door frame, on this double door if anybody's tucked. And you can't get swung from pink because you have this dresser. So if you have maybe one person holding this angle for the hallway, and then you have another person holding an angle for the pink doorway, you know, you should be fine. Once again, I haven't played favela enough to really be completely educated on how to attack and what's proper. A lot of times this comes down to just gunplay and people being absolute goddamn rats. I haven't really seen people go for this laundry hall wall because there's so many goddamn angles and rotations. So last but not least is green side bomb site. So you can work vertical here. I really haven't seen it done too often. I haven't even seen this site played that often, in honesty. Honestly, what I would suggest is being a rat and just bringing like yang and like smokes and whatnot, and just probably making something happen in terms of that. Open up maybe this green foosball wall, create an angle. Maybe even get someone to try to jump in this little side bathroom window and then basically create a pinch, maybe with Candela's Ying, Lion and whatnot. To be honest, I really don't know how to attack this side of the map because I haven't attacked it. And anytime I think I've attacked it maybe twice. Anytime I attacked it, I just brought meta operators and then it was a 50-50 in terms of it working. So I also just don't see people ever going this site in favela. But I also play it, you know, 1 in 20, 30 games, 50 games maybe. So let's talk about how to attack T. This is very simple. In terms of operator selection, bring a hard breach. Bring a self-destruction like sledge. I would suggest bringing a gridlock for staircase, flank. Rest is up to you. Basically, you're going to go horizontal over. You're going to want to have 2 people pushing off this balcony. You can jump into split window if you don't know what split window is. Basically, it's this window. Get your hard breach to drone out exhibition, top main right here. You know, make sure they drone out the bar, and basically you're pushing the defenders back. So you're gonna want to have maybe 2 people pushing terrorist, trying to take drum. They're more than likely gonna have a shield around shrine, but you want to take shrine control as quick as possible. If you guys establish all this map control, what you can do is have somebody lurk outside top black balcony. What this person does now is he can cut off, you know, the rotate for top black or the staircase. Or he can even maybe make a play happen and, you know, get into, you know, top black and cut off. The reason why you're going to want to bring a hard breacher is you can open up these T walls. This one now allows you to get a safe plant. That's only if you can get the utility off. Which you can go below in grenade. As you can tell right there. You can also have one of your teammates walk up restaurants or stairs and cut off sight. At the same time, you can maybe have somebody peeking drum door so he doesn't get swung from geisha. Once again, it's up to you, but your end goal should be trying to get a plant down on T. Talk about an office take. Personally, I'm not a big fan of just going for the main wall. There's indestructible cades that, you know, is very annoying to deal with. So if I'm pushing office, take geisha and take top black. Basically, you're clearing the other side of the map over. You want to take drum control. You want to take shrine control. From here, you guys should be able to like push the defenders back. When in terrace, you can probably go for this terrace wall if you guys really wanted to. This cuts off all the defenders' lines of sight, and they're going to be having to sit in rat corners. Really wanted to as well, you can rotate, and if there's no utility on the bar single, or you can burn for the bar single and get the utility off, you can even get that bar single. Make sure you have somebody on dragon watching top main slash, you know, this area. When you guys are ready, you guys can start executing. You can have somebody take top main, cut off any lines of sight. You can have somebody sitting on this breach, of course, cutting off any lines of sight. If you really need it, you guys can probably just walk in, maybe have one person smoke deep on the double and have your teammate plant on an exhibition. If you're going to do something risky like that, make sure you have someone doubled up, having their gun up for the guy to swing. But once again, you're going to have somebody top VIP. Or what you could do is you can try to fight for office, clear anybody in office, and try to plant in office. Really up to you how you want to execute it overall. But the main point is you're going to want to go horizontal over. Once again, the reason why the cades are so effective is because you can literally put a cade charge in this desk. It's very goddamn annoying to get rid of. And they can reinforce this wall right here and put the cade charge right there. If they go bar, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do the same exact thing that you did for T. Clear a horizontal over. But the objective is going to be a little bit different here, guys. You can have some people take over here office area. Make sure you clear everything. Watch for the geisha footholes. Once you clear everybody from top floor, make sure you have somebody watching the staircases. From here, work vertical. This is going to be a lot more easier said than done type of thing, you know? Open up vertical. You're going to have all lines of sight on the site, as you can tell. Even got their swing if, you know, someone wants to try to be a silly little goose. Now, basically, your main objective here, there's two different ways that you could try to execute the ending. You can try to go for a plant and barbecue, but you're going to have your teammates around you in restaurant, maybe take toilets, cut off a restaurant cutoffs. Make sure you have that person on vertical watching this door, and make sure you have another person watching the doors for anybody planting. The ideal plant spot, well, there really isn't one, to be honest. You can try to plant in a corner. Well, it's very risky. You can try smoking off this door and then trying to get a plant down. Overall, it's a hellhole playing skyscraper. Very fun map, but it hasn't been played enough, in my opinion, in ranked. Or you could try to go for the hatch drop and plant in kitchen. This would mean you would need to have teammates go over from pantry side and delivery and cut off the bar angle and any flanks. And you can cut off anybody in the other site because, you know, usually they only have 2 doors to go through. It's really up to you how you want to end the round. Lisa's bathroom. This is a very annoying bomb site to attack. I would honestly suggest doing the same thing that I did for office. Take upstairs control and go horizontal and play for vert. You're gonna have to clear all the people that extend above. For example, you guys take above. Make sure you clear the entire map. Drum and shrine. Make sure nobody's holding any rat corners. If you guys do establish VIP and all this upstairs control, make sure you have a body watching main for the flank. From here, you can have literally all the vert in the goddamn world. For both of the sites. I don't think it's deep bathroom though. That's the only thing that does suck. But if you wanted to get spicy and you wanted to be a real pain in the ass, what you can do while your teammates are making vert, you can have a hard breacher and someone else take delivery. Make sure restaurant, all this is clear in kegs, and even like the flank right here from reception. Could position a body in reception, and you could position a body for the flank, or you can just bring like a hard breach, or like, I mean, not a hard breach, a flank. You can open up this delivery wall with the hard breach. From here, the enemies only have a certain amount of like angles that they can watch because the vert is insane. So what you should be able to do is you should be able to just get a plant down right here. You got to watch for the tub angle or anybody behind the bomb chassis, but that's honestly about it. Because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, this is vert play. So you do get the angle. So the only thing you really got to worry for is the toilet angle and the tub. You can end off trying to plant right here in bathroom. Yeah, let's say they go green and red bedroom. Operator selection is gonna have to bring some type of soft breach and then a soft breach and a hard breach. You're gonna be going for this wall. You guys are gonna be going upstairs, making sure the entire top floor is clear. You can either open up these this dorms wall, hard breach it, soft breach it, whatever, and then push through and then make sure all of upstairs is clear. From here, you just have one of your teammates watch flank and you have complete vert. If you need to get the stuff off the wall, it is literally right here. This cuts off all lines of sight, as you can tell, in sight. And you can even open up this hatch. Really up to you if you want to open that or not, but yeah. So basically, you just want to take upstairs control and then open this main double wall right here and try to execute a plant maybe on this hard wall or more of the hell, you know, because it is situation based. One of these maps that you're probably barely gonna fucking play, and this is just a sad reality. Anyway, so let's go for dorms or piano / laundry, I mean. Operator selection is really up to you. Honestly, hard breach, you know, is honestly all you need in terms of all the time. Personally, what I like to do if I bring somebody with grenades, I like to drone downstairs and then I like to grenade from below. Like for example, on one ping is, where is it? Oh, I'm sitting on it. Yeah, it's literally in laundry, which you might get the chance to, you know, get the kill. Or if you want a more specific, maybe certain kill, I would nade right here on one ping. That's the door frame when they're getting the wall. Because what this does is that's a common rotation or a common angle once the breach is open. Open this wall basically. Have your thermite or whoever the hell watch it. You can even have maybe someone trying to solo push over towards piano, like around this little terrace area, and trying to cut off anybody's rotation. I would have maybe 2 people walk up yellow together and try to get each other's refrag. If one of them dies, at least you get the refrag and then you get this piano cut off. From here, once you get your top yellow control, you should be able to walk in as a hard breach and start pushing out with the entries for laundry. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times when attacking this map, it doesn't come down to getting a plant, it comes down to getting all 5 kills. I'm not saying go for all 5 kills, but a lot of times this is what happens. That's personally how I would attack it. I'm not the best at attacking outback yet, so I'm sorry if you have a better suggestion, drop it down in the comments, please. Let's talk about attacking party. This is actually a very simple site, which it just takes knowing where to go. I would bring maybe a Maverick and Thermite just in case, but I do go below and I nade. So for example, you're going to be going for this wall and then you're going to be working towards garage. So for example, I like to go below after I drone out and I like to grenade right here on one ping. Pretty easy. Except I missed my nade. I don't know what's going off me today of nades. You would get all the utility off and then work towards bottom garage. Have another teammate on the single window or have another teammate pushing up with you. You can go up the staircase while maybe one of your teammate goes up the ladder. Your other, like right when you're about to be at the very top, tell your teammate you're going up the staircase and try to just work garage and the breach. From here, you guys basically want to pinch out sight and just work for picks. At that point, you should be able to push the enemies back far enough to try to either execute a plant or get all 5 kills. Once again, this isn't perfect. I haven't played Outback enough. I probably have like 5 games played. This is literally what I'm thinking about right now. Last, let's talk about kitchen / mechanic. This is a very bad site. I would suggest only going for kitchen. For example, you're probably gonna have to clear this reptile area, reptile hall. Make sure nobody's flanking. You can probably put an air jab right here. You can put an air jab right here. Bring a hard breach. Bring a maybe even a Flores or something. And basically you guys are going to be going for this wall right here. So you're also going to probably need one more air jab right here. What you can do is you can send 3 people over this area and then have 2 other people from Shark, either coming down from Shark Staircase or from Restaurant Lobby. Just so you can get a cutoff if anybody tries to swing the bar here in Restaurant. And, you know, they try to deny and contest. Okay, let's talk about how to attack kitchen / dining. Now, personally, what I would bring is a hard breach, maybe even Maverick and Sledge. And just maybe even Osa and the other operators is really up to you. It seems like these newer maps are a little bit harder to attack. You're basically want to get this outer wall. As soon as you get this outer wall, you want the hard breach and, you know, probably Maverick or whoever to rotate over with them. You guys also want to go for this back wall. You can either, you know, try to go in from this window here, or you can take Orange Staircase. It's really up to you. I would suggest maybe taking upstairs control so nobody can flank from Orange. And then try to open up this double wall right here. This allows you to get a pinch onto site and allows your attackers to now push a little bit more clearer in the freezer. It's a lot easier for them. And you guys almost get a sandwich effect, and it pushes them back dining here, or pushes them back onto this kitchen shelf, which is a very common angle. Okay, now let's say they go bar / lounge. This is actually very simple. A lot of people overcomplicate this side of the map by going for these, you know, the pool walls and whatnot. I would suggest that you go for this outer pool wall, which is right here on 1 ping. Not because you're going to be executing into this site, but more because it's a cutoff for in between sites if the enemies try to rotate while you guys actually take bar control. Now, what you're going to want to be bringing is, of course, a hard breach, probably a Maverick, I would say, just so you can get whatever the stuff is on the wall. Osa could be effective, and the rest is really up to you. But basically, you want to be opening up this wall. And you need to literally just clear out bar. There's 2 bars, and you should be able to just plant behind this little bar. That's why I'm saying if you can bring an Osa, you can put a shield down right here facing towards this door, and then you can't get swung unless, you know, they have a C4 or something. It's very simple. A lot of people for some reason overcomplicate this side of the map, but it's actually one of the easiest, because this isn't, you're not able to play vert on any of this, which sucks. But on your side, it's actually really good as well, because, you know, they can't extend up top. It's very hard to defend this side of the map. You can play vert all above A though. So if you wanted to go up to above and make vert, you could, but I would just say go for bar. Don't don't make this too hard on yourself, to be honest. I would say you could maybe go from this single wall, from back entrance, and you guys can have somebody maybe, you know, have another cutoff for this rotation into this single door. Or they can even make their own solo play. That's really up to you what you want to do, though. Now, let's say they're gallery / meeting. This is also another one of those sites that's very difficult because there's so many different ways that you could be attacking this. I would say go for this statue wall here, or just go for this vault wall, which is kind of annoying because there's so many windows and so many entrances and whatnot. Of course, I would just bring a hard breach wherever the hell you go, in all honesty, and take from the archive balcony. You can cut off any lines of sight once you get into archives. It's just, you know, there's so many different angles that you could be getting peeked from. So just keep that in mind. You can have like maybe 2 people push that direction. You guys open up this balcony. Make sure you do have a Maverick or even someone with grenades, because you can go below and grenade right here on 1 ping. And then from here, what you could be doing if you really wanted to, you can open up this side wall to cut off more of sight. If you bring an Osa, once again, you can probably put an Osa shield down and try to get a plant somewhere in statue / gallery. But if you're gonna do something like this, then you're gonna have to also have some of your teammates maybe lurking from library. I don't know if it's called library. Yeah, this is library. I would suggest them maybe go from this musical hall and cut off anybody that might be roaming here in library, because if you guys establish all of this control, then you're cutting off all of the rotation and any of that in terms of capability, and then you can just kind of like pinch into sight and maybe even get that plant down, or even just plant around site instead of having to open up this single wall. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't attacked this side of the map too often either. I've played this map maybe 5 times, and the most common is kitchen, from what I've played, in all honesty. Now let's say they're admin side. Personally, what I like to do for admin is, one, I like to work this single wall. I would say bring a maverick and maybe a soft destruction. If there's no utility on the wall, you could just thermite it. I would try to bring all those operators. You can't just make a hole in above and just, you know, nade over. While you have maybe 2 people working that single wall, you can have teammates working from music hall and go from this single barricade and just try to clear out, you know, library side / hunting area, just so you guys can kind of pinch and make sure you guys don't get flanked. Somebody can take up to green hall, maybe bring a gridlock, and you guys can gridlock off flanks. From what I've played on this site, a lot of times you're gonna get flanked, and it's very goddamn annoying. So gridlocking off is always useful. And then if your thermite can rotate from that single wall, or he pushes green hall, you guys can open up this entire goddamn wall. From here, you have literally 2 door frames to worry about that you can get flanked from. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. It's like stuttering. But that's once again why you have somebody taking hunting area. So then automatically you only have 1 door frame to worry about, and then you guys should be able to get an easy plant down. People overcomplicate this map because they just haven't played it enough. Don't get me wrong, I haven't played it enough, but looking at the angles so far, it seems fairly simple if you just bring the right operator. Compensation, I can't even say the word that I'm trying to say. Operator lineup. So utilize gridlock, because, you know, people like to flank because everybody's lost on attack and defense. All right, so let's go over how to attack hookah. Now, just like any other of the last like 10 maps I've spoken about, if they're hookah side, I'm gonna go horizontal over, which means I'm gonna go from VIP / penthouse, and we're gonna clear that side of the map. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because now anybody on the defensive side that's over here, Hall of Fame, whatever, they're going to feel the need to push back, and they're going to feel pressured. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to drone out Hall of Fame, you're going to drone out all the penthouse, theater, everything, and you're going to, you know, take control of this side of the map. I would suggest bringing, you know, a hard breacher of like maybe Habana or Ace, and that's honestly the only thing that I would say to bring. Anything else you want to bring, that's up to you. Coastline's one of these maps where you can honestly make a lot of different operators work. Now, you can hard breach this wall. That allows you to look into pink, so they can't tuck into pink. If the hard breacher was able to rotate late round and, you know, get on top of the roof, not late round, but after you guys establish all this control, and maybe open one of these quad walls up, for example, so they can't just, you know, sit here tucked, you know, that can be a lifesaver. And basically what you're going to be doing is your end goal is to end aqua and plant aqua. So basically you guys would take aqua control, drone out luggage, all of this, take all of this control, and basically you would go for a default right here on the bomb chassis. I would suggest you can get one of your teammates to go on big window repel and cut off anybody that's trying to swing from the rotate, or you can have that same person maybe go on hookah repel, and you would have much more of a cutoff of the entire site. It's a little bit more risky, but basically your objective here is just to clear the entire map and hold angles. As you can tell, like, VIP has so many prominent angles for, you know, pink, and just for this basic, you know, hallway swing. So you're protecting the planner basically. And let's talk about penthouse. This has became a more popular side of the map ever since, you know, the new rework on coastline. Operator selection, bring a hard breach, bring somebody with grenades, and the rest is really up to you. Once again, your main objective is to get this VIP wall, send 2 people over here on VIP bulk to work this wall, and just to cut off guitar angles and whatnot from the balcony. While those guys are doing that, you're going to want to have some people take a hookah and maybe aqua and just cut off all of these angles and start establishing map control, because once you guys open up VIP, you're gonna have people in 90 trying to swing for 90, and you can have one person lurk aqua and try to go top white and cut off any rotations from theater, or all of you guys can focus 90 / VIP. It's really up to you. Your main objective is to push all the defenders back into theater / penthouse. You can open up this single wall, and then you can establish a plant behind the bed. From there, when that person is going for the plant, you can have your teammate, Hall of Fame, watching the cross. Very easy cross here. Or you can have one of your teammates drop the hatch and hold a cross. Or you can have one of your teammates on penthouse rappel. All of these are good. All of them are very effective. Do whatever you feel would be most beneficial to your situation. Every situation is going to be played differently, and every defender is going to readjust accordingly. So that's how I would personally attack penthouse / theater. Next, let's talk about attacking kitchen. There's two different ways you can attack kitchen, but my preferable way of attacking it is going vertical. So personally, I like to bring fuse and then some soft destruction like buck or sledge. I personally like to go fuse myself. And what I like to do is go guitar. Make sure you clear all of up top. Make sure everything in penthouse and theater's clear. And usually I like to set up a drone into 90 and just have one of my teammates static on this drone. They sit on it and let me know if I'm getting flanked. While sledge and fuse are making vertical and whatnot from above, you can rotate or have a body outside lobby double, because what you're going to do is you're going to catch the enemies trying to rotate out of sight from the cluster charges and the vertical play. You'll catch somebody outside a bathroom or just rotating into lobby. At that same time, when you're pushing that, you can have that extra body of one of your teammates come down white and play off of your teammate going lobby double. You have a lot of angles that you need to watch for, but if you clear lobby and take main lobby and make sure nobody's security, you guys have a lot of control here. From there, you can have your teammate hold vertical, and then if you're able to get in sight, you can probably plant kegs. You can make vert, so if they try to defuse, there's that. You can watch vertical from the rotation from vertical, and you can even rotate one of your bodies, from toilets, watching toilets. You keep one person watching toilets for the flank. You keep one person in lobby, and you can even maybe have one person outside service door. Then once again, this is really dependent on what your situation is in the round and how many bodies you have up. But yeah, last but not least, let's talk about how to attack basement. Last but not least, let's talk about how to attack double bar. Personally, how I like doing it is I like to bring a soft destruction, once again, like sledge. And I like to bring some type of flank watch like gridlock or nomad, just for the staircases and the common door frames that I might get flanked. The soft reach goes above, and he just works vertical on sunrise. Now, while that's happening, these people that are trying to play on the couches and whatnot, unless they get an easy C4, they won't be able to, play around this. They'll have to hedge out of sight, basically. You will make sure that one of your teammates is watching CV, which is cool vibes. You can even walk down CV and play the platform for anybody rotating out of sight. Now, while this is happening, Thermite or whoever the hell is the hard breach, you guys need to get this double wall right here. More than likely, there will be a goddamn smoke on a sled on a shield right here with ADSs. Bring somebody like Flores or somebody that can either destroy the shield or grenades. Once you clear the smoke or whoever, while the guys are playing vert, you should be more than good to get a pick and then plant behind the bomb. If you really need to as well, you can have a body lurk into service / kitchen and try to make something happen. Once again, this is all situational because every single round of siege is going to be different. Let's start with talking about how to attack army throne. In terms of operators, you're going to have to be a little bit more strict here, since this map takes a lot more coordination and a lot more map control in a certain way. So I would suggest bringing a thermite and a maverick. I would also suggest bringing some type of flank watch like nomad, and a soft destruction like, sledge. And maybe the last one's really up to you. Basically, you got to clear all the maintenance and gong and all of this. This is personally what I like to do. And then have some of your teammates taking top dragon, just so you can't get flanked from top dragon. I would suggest maybe the nomad and the sledge. And basically what you guys can do is you two can work together after you take all of this control. Nomad off this double, start making vertical on back armory, or back throne. My fault. No, back armory. I'm actually trolling right now. As you can tell, you have all sorts of lines of sight into this back site. Now, The hard breach, Maverick, and you know, one extra body. What the hard breach and Maverick should be doing, you guys should be watching, trying to get this maintenance wall. This should be easy peasy since you brought a Maverick and a thermite. Opening up this maintenance wall, very easy and very simple. You just gotta watch the 90 swing, which you can just have your teammate that's over here with you guys watching this, or you can have them on a drone. Have intel. Now once you guys open this wall, they're gonna be the enemies are gonna be stuck behind throne. Now if your Maverick is still up and you guys are still in a 5vx scenario, I would suggest, if you have enough time, get Maverick to go to barrels and put some lines, or even you can go thermite this wall, even if you guys have an extra thermite, and if you guys are feeling brave enough. Because now what you can see is back throne, and they cannot play back throne. It's gonna be this much harder now since you have the one guy on vertical watching the holes. This should allow you for your thermite to just easily walk into sight, maybe lay down a smoke on double so you can walk on by and plant, and have your teammates play a little bit more aggressive, whether it's on the breach for split or just holding a passive angle for split, and then one guy dragging door, and just watch for anybody trying to retake. Now let's assume that they go bunk side. Once again, you're gonna have to do basically kind of the same take of what you're doing for throne, except you're not gonna have to go downstairs and, you know, clear maintenance and gong and all of that. The only thing you are gonna have to watch for is for the C4s from below. Now for this site, I would bring a thermite, a Maverick, and soft destruction like sledge, buck, you know, someone that can just pop this hatch and clear any types of utility. And you know, the flank watch is really for the dragon staircase, so you can bring, you know, gridlock, I would suggest, more than a nomad, but nomad is good for the double door on, you know, right here. But like the air jab on the staircase can be inconsistent, so it's really up to you. Okay, now the sledge or soft destruction or whoever, you should just have 2 people taking control room, making sure initiation, all this is clear. Establish this map control. Have your other teammates drone out office side. Make sure all of this is clear, cache, whatnot. Make sure the air jabs get down, and once you establish all this map control, have Maverick and Therm come over to initiation, burn a hole in the top if it's a Cade, and, you know, burn like the ADSs, and then nade over, and then open up this initiation wall. Once you guys do that, rotate your body over to office, and if you guys can open up this top yellow wall as well, get this open. What this allows you to do now is cut off any types of rotation from the hallway and not playing the box. Anybody that's stuck in Cafe is going to be stuck in Cafe. Now, having all this open is good and whatnot, and it's definitely what you need to be doing, but somebody can definitely be sitting in break. So if you want to try to get somebody in on the rappel here, you definitely can. But once again, you're going to have to try to get picks and play very aggressive on theme park. I would suggest bringing somebody with smokes, just so if you do try to initiate a plant, you could smoke off their single door, or you could smoke off their rotate, or you could smoke off, you know, the many different angles, just so you can start taking more map control. You guys are going to have to be very in sync if you're going to make a play happen. But that is how I would take for bunk, which is going to be office / initiation. Basically what you guys are going to be doing, you're going to be going Cafe over. Have 2 people go Cafe. Of course, bring a hard breach, bring a Maverick, and then bring soft destruction, flank watch. Gridlock is really good because these staircases, you're going to want to put them on both staircases. Your main objective here is to establish all upper daycare, upper arcade, everything. You can have somebody rappel in from break room really quickly, and if you have a pre-play, sit on it. Get them to watch for anybody flanking in. And then what you can do, if they didn't reinforce if they didn't open up this wall completely that I'm breaking open, because usually you're supposed to shotgun this, and they have a Cade, you can just put a thermite right here and it'll open up the entire wall. From there, you guys can work this wall as well, the yellow wall. From there, it really comes down to how many picks you guys had and how much time you have left. But this is how I would attack this side of the map. Once again, this is very specific. I mean, it's very vague, not specific, because I don't know what the defenders and how they're playing. So this is just, I'm trying to nudge you guys in the right direction. Okay, let's talk about the most unviable site, which is drug lab. Now, basically, bring whoever the hell you want. I have not attacked this site that much because usually, like, why would you go this site? But let's just do it for shits and giggles, I guess. Bring a soft destruction. Establish upstairs control. Make sure you have somebody watching. You can bring a gridlock and then gridlock off both stairs and kind of handle that. And then you can kind of watch anybody flanking double. And then have your sledge just, or whoever the hell you have, making vert. Make vert. As you can tell, this is by the coke table. Can't see the northwest side of that side of the site, but as you can tell, you can make vert all along top arcade. Fuse wouldn't be that bad if you're trying to clear util and whatnot. From there, you can work towards going down arcade staircase. You can maybe even have a hard breach go into a barrel room here, and usually this is reinforced off, and this cuts off a lot of lines of sight. And then you guys can work towards taking lab, because all this will be reinforced. You have the guy on vert watching, you know, the bathroom door. You can even make vert in bathroom, and then yeah, that's what I would do, I guess. It's just you're never going to attack this part of the map. Okay, so if they're aviator slash study side, basically what you're going to want to do is go 90 over. So you're going to want to go across the map basically and take the entire map control. In terms of operator selection, I would say bring a hard breach like Ace or Habana, because you're not going to be opening up any big ass walls, if that makes sense. I like to bring a nomad on this side of the map as well, or a gridlock. It's really up to you in terms of what you want to bring, and then the rest is really up to you. Operators that would burn and destroy utility would be always great. It's always great. So basically you're going to want to have 2 people taking master. Make sure these people are getting droned in, taking deer, taking statue, all of that. You can place a body at the very start of the game on this bore window, and you have a cutoff on top red, and if anybody's trying to rotate out, this is going to be good for both your entries, because if they push anybody out, this should be an easy kill. Make sure you air jab off or gridlock off Astro Stairs, same with red. And then what you guys are working towards, you should have one of your teammates go 90 window, just so you can get a pinch when the entry is pushing 90, and then you guys should have 90 very easily. Place an air jab right here on the pillar so the guys can't flank. With Habana or Ace, make a head hole. Don't make this vaultable like this. Just make it a goddamn head hole, because now you have cutoffs for the most common cross on this site, which is, you know, vault. When you guys all have 90 and whatnot, have one player rotate study balcony, not with diffuser, because it's very common for somebody to be holding the head holes right here. So basically that person that's in study will now contest that. From here, you might be able to make your way into maps table and get an easy plant on this half vault wall. If you have one person, say you have all 5 people up, you have one person on vault, you have one person study, you have 2 people on this landing, because you can get a plant, and then the other 2, one's gonna have to watch the bar, voice crack, cool. One's gonna have to watch the bar head hole, and the other one can swing in for anybody trying to get aggressive on the guy in the head hole, or that guy could, if he can swing wide enough, he can get a refrag on the guy that's for study belk. Okay, so say there's statue. Basically your whole objective is to do the exact opposite of what you just did. You push from study over and you take a 90 control. In terms of operator selection, it's really up to you. Once again, nomad or gridlock would be good. It's just the late flanks, you're not going to hear the gridlock, so probably a nomad. And then whatever entry offs you really want to go. If you're going to bring a hard breacher, once again, that's really up to you if you do plan on rotating master. Basically though, drone your drone map table, drone study, drone all 90, and have an entry take all of this. Make sure bar and everything's clear. Once you guys take 90, make sure your entry isn't pushing up too deep and waiting for you guys. If so, watch for any Valkyrie cams or C4s from below. Once you push up into 90, you're basically if you guys are in a 5v5, you can have one person push master balcony. Make sure you air jab off like red. And basically, if you have that one person rotate it over to master balcony, the whole purpose of this now is this guy has any cutoffs for Brick's door. You could also rotate another body. Say you do have 5 people up. You can rotate one Astro window. Because what Astro window does is it cuts off the bathroom rotate, it cuts off split, and some of Astro stairs, and maybe even the rotate, but you need to expose a lot of your body. It's really up to you what you do from here and how you execute, but you really got to get picks from here. But you have basically all the defenders sandwiched if you're all at the same angles. Okay, let's say they go kitchen. Basically, I like to go 90 over for this as well, because I like to just quickly clear the map just so I don't get any late flanks. So basically, have your teammates drone you in, kind of like what you did for the last site. And then you basically just got to clear in terms of operators. Make sure you bring soft destruction. If you want to bring Nomad, that's really up to you for flank watch. I would suggest bringing a hard breacher so you can, just in case. If you did want to open up these walls, you can. But at the end goal, you're going to try to go for a couch plant, or you can go for pantry wall. And if you don't know what pantry wall is, it's this single wall right here in the kitchen. Wherever you end up trying to finish off, that's really up to you guys, but just make sure you're communicating so Sledge or whoever's playing vertical can watch the vert. Basically, you would just be taking upstairs control, making vertical, trying to get a pinch, and then play off whatever information you have from there. I can't tell you that you need to be ending off on the couch and getting a plant off there every single time, because that's just stupid. I don't know how the defenders are going to be playing, and that's why making a video like this is so vague and so difficult at the same time. But you can make a vertical for literally everywhere, including memo, so take advantage of it. Okay, let's say they go living room, what is it called, library. This is a very basic take. Usually you're going to want to bring a hard breach. Bringing an OSA and operators with smokes is honestly kind of smart. You guys need to take piano control. You guys need to take art. You guys need to have reading 90, which is this hallway, because it's a 90-degree angle once again. And then you can, you know, cut off anybody rotating back into sight. I would suggest taking top main control if you have one person go study, maybe, just because somebody's going to be lurking there. You guys can open up these double walls and basically try to get a plant right here. You just have your teammates in positions to watch if you're going to get swung or whatnot. That's what I'm saying. Maybe even OSA would be kind of good, because you can place an OSA shield right here and then plant behind it. Or you can place an OSA shield right outside this door and watch any swings. Or you can place an OSA shield reading 90. Or even on piano, like say you placed it right here and then got sledge to sledge this open. You now have a complete cutoff of anybody trying to rotate.